Good evening, what is up everyone? How's it going? Hafaro, Sparse, Nacha, welcome in. It is so good to see everyone. We start off today's stream by playing the best of Guild Wars 2 content, staring at the wall. Fortunately, we do not have to stare for long. Jack Garrett actually spawns at a really awkward time for our stream. The event starts literally as I go live, so it's actually rather opportune. We kind of just park our character here and then we log in, usually in a Jack Aaron map. If not, we can taxi to it, tag the event, we go live, and bam, Jack Aaron is complete. So it actually works out rather well. We're getting quite close to finishing off we've deposited our Jack eggs. We've got 21 Jack eggs, we need 30, so we're making great progress on that, which we'd love to see. But how is everyone going today? It's been a very fun day here so far. We actually caught up with Jess's sister, went out and had sort of morning tea with her. Jess and her sister, they had what they call Clay Day a few weeks ago, where they made some air dry clay, made all manner of like cool little things out of clay. So today was the day where they paint and sand the clay. So brought that over to their place, had a great time, went out to a new bookshop, actually picked up a book. The traffic engineer and me just couldn't put this one down, called Traffic, and it's got dogs on the front on it, and it's why we drive the way we do and what it says about us. Had like a very quick flick through the book, and it does look very interesting, talking about how people interpret things on the road, how it makes them feel, and why people drive the way they do, why people do some of the seemingly alarming things that they do, and what actually causes that, which actually looks quite interesting. One day we'll start the stream with a Jack egg sack. One day, that's what we're banking on. That is the plan to finish off all our legendaries. Drew, what's up? How's it going? It's great to see you. Okay, let's just load up on a few more of these. As long as I keep 1,500, at least 1,500 of the map currency there, we're going to be in a pretty good spot. Now we can shuffle our way quickly over towards an Auric Basin as well. But how has everyone's Wednesday been? I just started doing IBS since the event started today. Nice. Now is honestly a great time to do it. And I believe they made a whole bunch of changes as well to Dragon Response missions. I honestly have to pull up the patch notes. I only very quickly read them this morning. Guild Wars 2 patch notes. A whole bunch of things to make them just more convenient to do, which honestly, amazing. Should have been done quite some time ago, but glad to see it now. There we go. Pet, you go deal with that. That's yours. Let's bring that over. Oh, hang on. Just want to get into my map. Just leave me be. There we go. Okay, let's just try and get into a map first. That's the first thing we need to do. Okay, Heart of Thorns, Auric Basin. Okay, straight up, there's no meta there. Okay. DRM patch. Fortunately, we've done DRMs for our legendary amulet some time ago. What zoom are you on? Okay, only 120. Okay. Let's see, Dragon Response missions. So Dragon Response missions have been updated in preparation for the return to Icebrood event. The changes allow the preparation phase to scale properly for group size. Dame Vamp, what is up? Welcome in, Raiders. My name is Josh, or Konokonkane, and I've got a few YouTube channels there where you can see all sorts of Guild Wars 2 build guides. What is up, Dame Vamp? Thank you so much for the raid. Yeah, looking forward to having it for raids tonight as well, if you were keen. How are you going? Everyone, make sure you go drop Dame Vamp a follow on Twitch. It's great to see you. But yeah, what'd you get up to on your stream? Tell us all about it. We were just going through right there. Oh, hang on. I saw an event pop up. That usually means a Vine Tooth nearby. That's free loot. Let's go. Yes, always get that free loot. We've got you. Weapon swap, trigger, ambush. Maybe not. Sometimes it doesn't trigger for some reason. Sad you start an hour later. Oh, I imagine daylight savings has messed with things at some point, as is usually the way with daylight savings. Anyway, having a nice time doing DRM so far. I hope everyone is. The changes they've implemented do seem to make it much easier for people. Now, is there an actual Auric Basin up anywhere in the world? Let's go. Auric Basin, please. Okay, maybe not. Oh well. Or just tier 1 dungeons. That sounds like a fantastic time still. Because Arc DPS is still broken for me. My mountain wheel's not working. That's fun. But okay, let's pull that back up. Okay, so I'm just quickly running through the changes. So they've changed it so the preparation phase will now scale properly for group size. The number of objectives to clear the phase for a group of 5 players will be reduced from the previous state. Good. That just burnt so much time. While the number for solo players will be greatly reduced. Awesome. You can dive into DRM so much quicker now. That's just probably about 5 minutes of time just cut off. That's all good, Dame Van. Yeah, hopefully we can have you along for a race. But yeah, if you need to get some rest, make sure you look after yourself. That is the most important thing. Oh, why is our thing there? Oh, hang on. Game, Guild Wars 2. There we go. It was in our Path of Exile position. I forgot to change the button back to Guild Wars 2. There we go. Much better. Okay, so they've removed the 5-minute preparation phase. Okay, so time has just gone and replaced it with a progress bar that fills as soon as players participate. Cool. They're still gained if individual sub-objective has been complete. Morale boosts can still be gained if 3 are completed. The requirements for these objectives do not scale and have been significantly lowered. Great. Fix various pathing issues that can leave characters in awkward positions. Good. Clean up a number of display markers and inaccurate skill text for events. Fine. Fix a number of small NPC issues to improve event performance. The big kahuna change is this one here. Making it so the pre-event phase is just cut down drastically. We'll have to probably test it out at some point to get an idea of, what the difference is. But honestly, that's hype. That is really, really good. Because yeah, that was always one of the worst things about DRMs was just the time. Just the time. Especially when some of those DRMs, what do you call them? It's Veteran, Mortar, and Fine-Tooth here, so an event? No, it's just a regular one. Some of the preparation events on some of those maps did take a really long time to complete, so that's going to be really nice. And yeah, now's going to be a great time to get in and get those achievement points and those mastery points for Dragon Response missions, actually. So if you are in need of some, now's a really good time for it, because I presume for the achievements, let's go probably bonus events, Return to Icebrood Saga. So what do we actually get for this? I get a glittering weapon cache and some mystic coins for overall doing the events. Cool. And then if we take a look down here, let's kind of just do everything. Complete pivotal story missions. Get some karma there. Where are... There's got to be Dragon Response missions here somewhere. A lot of them will be tied to actual... The other one will be tied to actual missions as well, probably. Oh, complete pivotal story missions. Okay, yeah, there's like... All the Dragon Response missions are tied down here as well. But yeah, with these changes, there's going to be a lot more people willing to do Dragon Response missions, which is good. Oh, you already have all the skins? Very nice. Let's just go activate this one here. Give it a bit.
I feel furious. We heal as one. Wear them down. Rip them up.
Gotta love celestial swap pets. Okay, our pet's not living its best life now. We've got to swap back to Brown Bear. Should have swapped pets far sooner. Wouldn't have died. There you go. We got 25 might, swiftness, quickness, fury. What more can you want? What does that do? And our unleashed ambush attack will just heal us for a ton of amount. And there we go. Oh, I still got these. No wonder I didn't get rewarded. Very sad. There we go. Cool. Gives us well, some spirit shards and some currency and unidentified gear. Very nice. Honestly, if you have a build that's capable of it, soloing the hero points in Auric Basin is actually quite a worthwhile thing to do. One, you get spirit shards, You get map currency, which you need for various things, and quite often some rare unidentified gear, which is really good. And catch you later, Dame Van. Thank you so much for the raid. Looking forward to maybe having you for raids later, provided you get enough rest. P.S. Enjoy your food. But any of the hero points that require you to fight something, they're really good ones for you to go through and do. And it looks like a map's active here. It doesn't really matter in Auric Basin. As long as there is anyone in the map, it will probably complete. Let's just check here. Cool, yep, there's a tag up. Nice. Also, I can always like tag up as well. They just literally need people to draw them into the map. It's so good having our legendary medium gear. So many more builds can... I keep forgetting that's not actually active. And sure thing, Exceed, ask away. And welcome in, it's great to see you. Swap pets. Do you use a dual PC setup? No, I don't. No, I use a single PC setup. I was using a dual PC setup for a time with my Logitech gaming laptop, but not anymore. If possible, I do like using a single PC setup. It does make things a bit easier. Home server setup. I did actually unironically contemplate setting up. You can set up on a home server a OBS Docker container and actually use like the OBS teleport plugin to center that and actually encode using the server, but the 2012 Intel Xeon processor on that it's not up to the task. It would look absolutely terrible. Slash, I don't even think it would be able to do it. Yeah, I'm running a video card. If you go check out my about page, you can see exactly what stuff I am using there. I've got it all linked there in the gear setup. But yes, we're rocking a 4060 Ti. Particularly for that NVENC encoder, especially for Twitch. Oh, cool. This event's going to pop in just a minute. Nice. That should be linked, actually. Let me take a look. So I believe I updated that some time ago, but let me go check. They should be able to see everything that I do have there. Oh, hello, spider scuttling across the wall. I'll deal with you later. Yep, that is perfectly updated. I just want to just go in across there. It's very fun. Why is that so much darker than it normally is? Let's get ourselves some more light. Let there be light. Spirit it's a medium one. Now, sorry, you can find yourself a nice home behind those uni degrees. There you go. I shall name him Jeffrey. As long as he deals with the smaller bugs. You have an AMD card and you want to do some VTuber type stuff. What kind of AMD card are you rocking? I'm not really up to date with, well, up to date, I mean, I don't really have a handle on what is required to set up a VTubing rig, because I know that can be a rather intensive affair.
We have protected Tarir for over a century.
Especially if you've got some like more modern AMD cards, they should do the job just fine. Just my favorite VTuber. Yeah, this is the single most advanced VTuber setup. You cannot imagine how much effort it took to get this rig going. About 9 months, in fact. Followed by a bit over 30 years. Constant tinkering. Now we are just going to like one burn south and trust everyone else to catch up. That's always the play.
We heal as one.
Constant knockdown. I want to get my heal off. I'm just perpetually stunned. Oh, you've one below the current best 7900 XT. Oh yeah, that should be totally fine. Especially once Twitch as well brings in AV1 encoding. That's going to be like a huge game changer for streams, and honestly Twitch in general. So one of the best benefits of the Nvidia cards at the moment on Twitch is the fact that they have the NVENC encoder. Whereas once there's AV1 installed, there's not that much of a difference. Oh, thank you, Jess, for that amazing dinner, everyone. Jess is absolutely amazing and has made us loaded potatoes with, that is spinach and ricotta, I believe, angelotti with a tomato and garlic sauce. That is amazing. Thank you, Jess. And yes, everyone, make sure you go check out Jess, both on Twitch as well as on her Instagram, where she is the most active. Thank you so much for that. That's going to be amazing. We're not living our best life over here, but that's all right, because we're a ranger. We have pet. Go pet. You got this. You got this, bruh. Oh, will that be soon? Do you know? I don't know. Honestly, I probably expect maybe in the next year. Twitch is doing like betas for it at the moment for some select creators, but I'd probably expect it within the next year. But that's just pure conjecture on my part. I actually don't know. But it would behoove Twitch to get that done as soon as possible, because that would drastically reduce the actual operating cost for Twitch itself. Because the sheer cost that it takes to encode a stream is quite severe, actually. Particularly because for, I think it's like H.264, the encoder that they use, they have to actually pay a great deal of royalty fees and stuff like that, because H.264 is not a open source software, open source encoder, unlike AV1. Oh yeah, I completely agree. Like AMD cards, they are incredible value in particular. I was originally on an AMD card, a 6700 XT, so a few tiers below you, and it was honestly performing fantastically. But it wasn't as good for encoding on Twitch, just because of how Twitch works with the using the low bitrate H.265 encoding, which the AMD cards just weren't really set up for. But yeah, that was an absolute banger of a card. Yeah, when on 15 here, this one's not going great. Fish, what is up? Thank you so much for the sub, mate. I super appreciate that. You are so kind. Enjoy, no more ads, and your wonderful addy emotes. Wow, this is really not going well here. How are you going? Okay, there we go. It's moving now. Oh, Twitch is living in the Stone Age of Codex. It is a little bit, but it's probably because of the fact that it's just so costly to change as well. But yeah, once they do, that's going to be absolutely amazing for both Twitch and creators as well. So then it means, as long as you've got a reasonably modern card, you'll be able to get a much higher quality stream with the same bitrate, which would be nice. East has been defeated. What's really annoying about these is that you can't really, well, you can target them, but if anything is above them, that takes precedence. So it's actually super, like even people, you have to click exactly on it. And no idea how I've not yet had coffee, so much brain activity. Well, hopefully you can get your coffee and then you can ease into starting your day. And yeah, that is a very real consideration as well for, you know, YouTube versus Twitch as well. The actual like stream encoders you have available and the bitrate you can upload at is much higher, because YouTube has, you know, well, YouTube and Google have more money than the rest of the world combined. I was a bit late this morning. Well, Best World was rather good. It was 3 when you went to bed. Damn, that is impressive. 5, 4, 3, 2, 2, or 1.5 seconds left. 1.5 seconds. Nobody panic. Oh, what was map chat during that? Everyone's very pleased with that. But one of the tricky parts about streaming on YouTube, it very much depends on the game. But YouTube doesn't have as much of a culture around live stream as well. Like, historically, it's been on Twitch, and that's a hard thing to shape as well. I'm taking a game break over the last few days. Ah, nice. What have you been getting up to on your break?
Wear them down.
Trying to get a reset. Honestly, that's a really good idea. Make sure you look after yourself. And ouch. Always.
Ready, willing, and able.
Aside, you also want to have the light obsidian armor. Wonderful. And it's good. It gives you another goal to work towards. For someone in your position, Fish, I imagine that's quite important. Catch up some TV shows. Brilliant. What are you watching at the moment? Jess and I are gradually working our way through Silo at the moment on Apple TV. Really enjoying that. We've got the Season 2 finale this Friday. Just 26 more stacks of essence. The joys of open world armor. All Severance Season 2. Yes, I'm so excited for that. Love Season 1 of that. I believe that's... That should be coming out this Friday as well. Oh, damn, we'll be able to have finale of Silo Season 2 and start of Severance. Great. Loaded potatoes with pasta. 2 of the best foods. It's amazing. Thank you, Jess. But yeah, looking forward to when Twitch eventually has AV1 encoding. That's why we changed the graphics card that we did. One, because we get the NVENC encoder for now for Twitch, but we are future-proof because we can do AV1 encoding as well. Yeah, I can't believe Ben still directed it as well. It's absolutely crazy. I'm very much looking forward to it. Okay, so 30 of the map thingies, those are more rough for you because you're always late. You can brute force them with lantern runs. You do a lantern run and then you exchange the, exchange the thing for the map currency, then buy the map completion item that map completion item, that daily time gated item. You know the ones I'm referring to. Which I did a lot for Amnitas in particular because I always missed that meta. Now, so try and get as many of the meta events as you can. Because that many lantern runs, if you wanted to brute force it all, is just mind-numbing. Dinner is amazing.
Grand loot.
And yeah, it's time we jump over to NA and start doing our raid train. I'll be rocking some Scourge. That will be the next build guide that we'll do. We'll do another video before that, but the next build guide that we'll work on, I believe, will be Heal Scourge. So then we can have the full gamut of Necro builds. We'll have Condi Scourge done, Power Reaper, Condi Harbinger, Condi Quickness Harbinger, although I still have to maybe touch on Power Harb, given that's a thing now. And so for minimalism, do you use a certain thing until it breaks generally? Generally, yes. Especially the case with phones. And sometimes I might swap something out, like in the case of the graphics card, if it serves a very real need. It's very rare. Like, I basically will never upgrade just for the sake of it. Plus, generally, when it comes to tech, like, I enjoy, all things about tech, but what I enjoy the most is finding that nice sort of budget value spot right in the middle, rather than going for the latest thing as soon as it comes out. And then try and fix it first. Yeah, and I enjoy tinkering as well. It really helps extend the life of things. But given the home server that we got, that's the case where I probably should have, in hindsight, just to make my life easier, splurge a bit more on the outset. Because, yeah, we got a... So we're rocking, yeah, an Unraid server, which is really, really good. But the case, I only put... I've got 18 terabytes of storage. I should have probably splurged and got just more, like, bigger capacity drives. The motherboard we got, it's a combo off AliExpress where you get the CPU, the motherboard, and the RAM. It was for about $100 at the time, so we get the Xeon processor, we get ECC RAM, all the kind of stuff you want in a server. It was insane value, and almost everything on it works, except the front USB panel thing just doesn't plug in for some reason. On USB 3.0 header, the pins just don't match up, so I can't actually use that on the case, but it's fine, I don't need it. So we're rocking, I think it's like a 2012 Xeon processor because it came with it. But yeah, it's the case where it's like, maybe if I splurge a little bit more at the start, it would mean I'd have to upgrade it less often. Because we're almost reaching the point. That's only got like 4 terabytes left on it of 18 terabytes of usable storage. Whereas if I went the full hog and maybe got like some 14 to 20 terabyte drives in there, because the motherboard itself only has capacity for, I think it's 4 drives, so we've got 3 drives in there for storage, 1 for parity. So yeah, if I maybe got like a more modern motherboard, it means they'll just naturally be more powerful. We'd have more slots for hard drives. I could have got a bigger case that actually had more capacity rather than going for that uber budget point. There's probably a tier above that I could have gone. But it was a fun experiment. It's been serving us really, really well. But it's sort of always an interesting balance you have to strike with tech. You could, get the absolute, flagship whiz-bang latest thing as soon as it comes out. Or you could go a little bit below that and get something that's going to be much more cost-effective and last for the same amount of time. It's also an interesting thing with smartphones as well now. Especially because there are 2 things that kind of nuke smartphones. It's the battery, which is kind of consistent between phones. Smartphone batteries only tend to last a few years before they start to die. The next one that gets you is software updates. A key thing to look for when you're getting a smartphone is how long that company is actually going to support them software-wise. Because for a few years, I was rocking a Motorola G5S. Great mid-range phone, was great at the time, but only had like 2 years of software updates. And after that, no more security updates. And then 1 or 2 years past that, which I sort of kept it going for, banking software just stopped working on it because the banks were like, this phone does not have the appropriate security upgrades. We will just not function on this now. I'm like, well, I just need to go and get a new phone. Despite the fact everything else on the phone was fine, the fact it wasn't updated just meant I can't use this now. I need this. And I was like, I feel like getting new tech is fun. It just is. Yeah, it's a very important thing. It's why when eventually I upgrade my phone, I'm rocking a Pixel 4a at the moment, which itself is going quite good, but Google's going to do an update to the battery, which is supposedly going to nuke it from orbit, so that's fun. But yeah, when I eventually upgrade, when the phone dies, because I don't need that much from a smartphone, I just mainly use it for, listening to Audible, making calls, and maybe like playing the occasional game on there when I'm bored. I don't need that much from it. But when I eventually upgrade, I'll probably be going a Samsung because I believe they said they're doing 7 years of updates now on their new phones. And I just like being in the Android ecosystem as well. Apple is one of the better EOS cycles compared to price if you won't go up to the Pro and Pro Max editions. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's important to think about, especially with devices like phones which do have almost a hard life to them, which you can interpret as, when they stop receiving software updates. It's important to think about how much it costs over the life of the device, because if you get, say like if you spend, $1,000 to get a iPhone, but it lasts you 6 years for software updates. So $1,000 over 6 years, that's an awkward amount of money. So it's like $166 a year. Whereas if you say go, I'm going to spend $600 on a phone. But yeah, then it only gets updated every 3 years. Only has 3 years of updates. That's $200. Which 3 years is not uncommon. Oh yeah, the Apple SC stuff is actually like insane value. Apple's really weird where that low, like the SE tier and as well as like the Mac Mini, that sort of bottom tier, you actually get insane performance for price. But then as soon as you start going above that, particularly if you start upgrading things like RAM, storage, CPUs, get all your extras, then it just skyrockets. Yeah, Apple SE has the issue they've got smaller battery and find them a bit too small. That's also the tricky thing because battery storage has not kept up with your smartphone performance in general. So the more powerful the device, either the bigger they have to make the battery, which does run to space constraints after a while, or you just get terrible battery life. Samsung's really weird because some models are very good support and others are gone in like 3 years. It also... Oh, I picked everything up from here. Nice. I think like the Samsung phones getting 7 years of support, that is a super recent thing. Like maybe even only with the current year onwards. And Nog, welcome in, mate. You prefer Samsung because your battery is capable of actually lasting and dropping it, isn't it? And $400 repair. That's a great point as well. The price it is to actually repair something is important. And yeah, I'll probably get in the Samsung as well when I eventually do upgrade. And it's also a consideration as well, you know, getting a
That's valuable.
current year phone versus a previous year model. Previous year model will be cheaper. But you have one less year of software update. So then you have to sort of use that as a consideration. Is it worth getting that knowing that there's 1 year less life in this phone? Because yeah, like a $600 phone is great, but if you have to upgrade it after 3 years versus a $1,000 phone they have to upgrade after 6 years, it depends of course on what you're able to afford up front, but it's a tricky consideration. Hey Dame Van, thank you for the hydrate. Hey, let's process some of that. And this dinner is amazing. Thank you, Jess. Cool, we've got... Yeah, that's all our reclaimed metal plates done, actually. Nice. Considering a new kitty for over $1,000. Oh, pets is a totally different... That's a totally different value proposition. The value they give you is priceless. Yeah, 6 to 7 years is fine and deep support. You build desktops to last at least 10 years. Especially desktops. Desktops are great because you can upgrade components piece by piece as you need. You can go, okay, we have more RAM requirements, we can slot more RAM in. Okay, graphics card outdated, I can swap that out. Power supply should basically last forever. I saw a smoky black Mancoon with heritage and stuff. Oh, that sounds amazing. An old work colleague of mine had a Mancoon. That thing was huge. Very cute, though. How much did you have to pay for Addy? I'd actually rather not say. It was a lot. We also got it was basically during COVID times, where the price of dogs skyrocketed. And now prices are around about like a fifth of what they were back then. Worth every penny, would do it again in a single, like in a heartbeat.
I feel furious.
But it was a lot. Yes, right now. Yeah, even South Australia and Australia in general is a really weird place for buying dogs, because it's very actually hard to buy a puppy, because if you go directly through a breeder, you're usually on at least a 2 or 3 year wait list before you can even, get a look in. Just not on a wait list for 3 years. It's only by sheer stroke of luck that we got Addie when we did. And if you go to RSPCA or any of your animal shelters, almost no dogs available. Very few. Like, you'll never ever see a golden retriever at a shelter. You just straight up will not see that. That's not a thing. And any dogs that you do see, it's usually they've had, very rough life. They have trauma. They have very specific needs and requirements that, like, if you're looking to, get a particular type of dog, or say if you have kids or anything, quite often those dogs, you just can't have them around kids, or you can't have those dogs around men because they've been abused by a man. If you go on any of those sites, and you might find 5 dogs like that, and they all have a long list of requirements. So breeders make all the money in Australia? Yes. Oh, you can't actually have your dog desexed without you registering as a breeder as well. Oh, you posted a good example of the kid you want as well. Hell yeah, we'll take a look at that. Yeah, so if we wanted to not have Addie desexed, we would have to register as breeders, and then that's a whole thing. So you can't actually just have a dog and have puppies here. You can't do that without registering as a breeder. So it's not as though, the family down the road, their dog had a litter of puppies. Great, everyone on the street gets a puppy. No, that's just straight up illegal here in Australia. So yeah, they just make all the money. And yeah, we had to, because Addie's a large dog, so we had to... The vet recommended, like, for large dogs, you want to get them desexed a bit later in life so then they can continue growing. So you get them desexed too early, it has all sorts of, like, developmental issues. So we had to get a written exemption from the vet, which they then sent to the council. Be like, Addie's not getting desexed until she's 2. That's absolutely amazing. Hey, let me grab that. Open a browser. That's so cute. Get behind that. That's adorable. And particularly during COVID, because everyone was home, everyone was working from home, so everyone was getting dogs. The cost of dogs just through the roof. Like, you're talking thousands for just any sort of dog. It's only now, and probably the last year, now that everyone's kind of been forced back to work in the office, people aren't able to have dogs at home, and you're also seeing a lot of dogs getting rehomed because people bought dogs during COVID, and now they're having to go back in the office, and the dog can't be by itself, or it hasn't been conditioned for it. It has separation anxiety, so they're having to rehome them. So only now is the point where the cost of dogs is actually,
Swift and steady.
I'd say, reasonable. But for years, it was just shocking. PK, what's up? How's it going? Increased interest in dogs means Addie has many potential friends. That is true. And Jess and I were 100% at some point going to get a second dog as well, because, of course, Addie needs a dog as well. Is Victor the same age as Addie? Yeah, round about the same. Yeah, they're very, very similar in age. And yeah, Addie in particular has been very good for Victor, because he was very boisterous and not aggressive, but he was a bit rough with how he'd play. But then, yeah, he spent time playing with Addie and being around her, then eventually mellowed out, because she would tell him when he was being too rough. She'd like bark at him and go, no. And then, yeah, he really chilled out a fair bit, which was great for him, and it was great for her because she got a lot of exercise, and yeah, she got to play with another dog. Let's bring this up here. So these are the current kitties, are they? Nice. Absolutely adorable. What we found was really, really good for Addie was actually taking her to doggy daycare when she was little. There's a couple of like really great, doggy daycare places where, you drop them off for the day there, they spend the entire day playing with other dogs, they monitor, they put in with dogs of like a similar size and temperament, and that was great for her socialization. Would absolutely recommend that. Got zonked down so hard, I know. Oh, cool, we're getting reasonably stacked on that. Now, do I have another character? There's this one. Should probably actually try and finish off some weeklies while we're here. Oh yeah, it's also... we can level up this character a little bit. We're just working our way through dinner as well before it gets cold and before we dive into Rays. So we'll rock some Hill Scourge tonight because we can get some more footage of that. The loaded potatoes, one of the best, healthy, easy, yet delicious meals, I think. What an excellent looking character. You did a great job with like the character customization there. Yeah, unironically, it looks fantastic. Got so much unidentified gear to process as well. So let's get that character leveled up sometime soon. Also have to level up our Revenant. Where are you? You're living there. Let's also just grab some of this stuff. All parking, great to do while I eat.
My queen will hear of this.
Fired up! Criminal, enjoy your loot.
The unidentified gear is good here. Plus trade contracts will be good if I ever need them. Which I will probably do a Gen 2 Legendary at some point. Oh good, the 7 button still works, nice. And I'm hoping if we can be... we might be able to finish off Act 3 of PoE tonight. That would be an amazing goal. I probably do still have to fight the Viper boss again, but hey, 4th time's the charm. And by that I mean it should be quite easy at that point. But if we can finish that off, that will be sweet. You got this, you don't have too much more left to do. Excellent. Actually, we'll probably do about 2 hours of raids, and it usually is about an hour and a half left for some PoE at the end. 3 maps and you're done. We might be able to blast. We just have to focus on blasting. I think at the moment our build is cracked enough where we can sort of just blitz through everything. I do have a character parked in Lion's Arch as well. Oh, here we go. So I'm going to have to deal with more provisioners tokens soon. I made the mistake of doing a whole bunch of research notes to speedrun it. Which, yeah, I spedrun it. I only spedrun a third of what I needed because I mathed it wrong. I thought it was 100 research notes per infinitely repeatable provisions tokens. Nope, it's 300. It's 161. We're gradually getting there as well with Blue Prophet shards. This is the character that's parked at this vendor. Oh, you were stuck in progression in PoE for a few days, but yesterday you managed to double your power. How exactly did you do that? And what build are you rocking at the moment? And how are you enjoying PoE, given I believe it's somewhat consumed you entirely. We're getting a few of those. I can also... I think I can actually... Let's go on to this character. I think I can actually almost start converting reclaimed plates as well. Actually, reclaimed plates are insane value for me to do, because it's about 30 silver per provisions token. It's always a good day when we get loaded potatoes.
I swear I won't harm you.
Commander.
I can at least get one there. Okay. Do I have Blishite active? Looks like I do. Okay, so what we might do is actually take a quick break, go stretch our legs, and then we're going to come back on NA. We can start forming up for raids. Or at least maybe figure out which Scourge we want to play. We've got a few floating around. We'll be right back. And we are back. Welcome back, everyone. And Exceed, I'm glad you enjoy my Be Right Back screens. And Varo, you finally got your 4th Ascendancy. And spent some time to manage your gear and get some upgrades. It's amazing just how stark the power jump you can get is. Like, it's absolutely baffling. And Quality's my middle name. That's exactly it, actually. Joshua Quality Connor. Isn't it con? Depends. Okay, now I was going to say something else. Can't remember what it was. Oh, that was it. Yeah, even just when I got my 2nd Ascendancy trial done, and we're able to get, I think it was Strike twice in Stormweaver. Yeah, it was absolutely insane just how stark the jump was in power. It almost felt like a straight up doubling in our power. Even just small looking upgrades can make a huge difference. Yeah, and different upgrade effects as well, like maybe shifting to a +1 to a spell effect from plus 40%, you know, spell damage or something. The jump you can get is very, very stark. And you probably know, once you sort of reach the end game, is there a way to upgrade your gear to force certain effects in place? What's that? Docs, Nusk is here. I do not recognize anyone here. We'll see what happens. Just out of, I think they're literally adding people to the squad at random. Okay, let's see what we've got. That's a heal Scourge build by the looks. And we're just rocking the outfit because Scourge. I've actually just double checked the heal Scourge build. I'm pretty sure that's it. That kind of looks right. Builds. And they're just adding random people. It's fascinating. Only a little bit. Most of it will just Gamba for now, but they'll add a lot more deterministic options. Yeah, I would really like if there was more deterministic options. Because, yeah, the distinction between armor that you can typically get yourself through drops versus what you can buy from other players when they've actually got that exact gear you want, the difference in quality is just stark. So being able to bridge that gap so your solo self-bound players can have, I think, an experience that's close to that, I think would be good. It could be because that's just what I'm used to in Guild Wars 2, that, yeah, when I don't see that ability to craft a particular gear type or easily acquire a particular thing that I'm looking for to make the build work, I'm like, feel like I'm missing out. But it's just how games are designed differently. Yep, that's right. Amir, what's up? How's it going? Oh yeah, they're just trying to brute force a raid. That's fine.
Mine. All mine.
Anything good here? Oh, you can get a Gift of Ascension, actually. I don't need it, so I'll get a journal. That's pretty cool.
Thank you.
A lot of it will come down to knowledge and efficiency. Which items do you actually want to pick up and which items do you want to try and sell and upgrade to preserve resources? Yeah, I feel like I'm gradually getting better at that, but because I'm really only playing Path of Exile for a few hours on stream, and I haven't really dived deep into things the same way. Well, not really the same way I do for Guild Wars 2. I'm the beneficiary of 12 years of Guild Wars 2 experience, so a lot of stuff that is super easy for me to pick up and internalize just won't be for newer players. So it's fun and interesting being in that position in Path of Exile. Let's just see where we're at with events as well. Where's a nice one to blast? Aether Blade Assault. If we could leech an not leech an Aether Blade, we're actually going to do stuff in Aether Blade. Where is it? Ender Dragon, Saitung. Meta, hello. I'll see who's around for raids tonight as well. Okay, it might actually just be myself, PD, and Cal. You still really do not like the convergences? I'm not the biggest fan of convergences just in general because they take so long. That's the main thing I'm not the biggest fan of. Now, even on what I presume is Giver's gear, let's take a look. Yeah, even on Giver's gear, that still kind of stings. So what skill should we be rocking? Yeah, straight up, the only real sort of set one is Desiccate. But even then, depending on the group comp, I can yeet it. Yeah, the Janthir Wilds Convergence and Welcome in Laser particular has a ton of waiting. It's when there's forced waiting, that's the type of content that I don't particularly like. It's also one of the reasons why people don't really like Dragon Response missions. And I think in particular, you see this a lot with Guild Wars 2 bosses, because obviously they're designing new bosses to be balanced around the amount of damage that people are doing. Which, oh no. Oh! They're designing bosses to be balanced around the levels of damage that people are doing now. Which I actually don't think is the best thing from a fun perspective. Because generally it's only a small subset of players that are actually it's only a small subset of players that are actually achieving this damage number. We'll eventually land a hit on this boss. I will land a hit on this boss and I will also finish my point. Whereas stab, not on me. Not on me, apparently. Hang on. Second fall in despair. It's resigned acceptance. I'll dodge it. There we go. Even better. What even was my point? Yeah, when you look at bosses that are honestly nowadays a bit of a HP sponge, and they're designed around the sort of peak of damage that Guild Wars 2 players can achieve now compared to what bosses used to be designed for, whereas there's only a small subset of players that can actually achieve that damage. So I think generally for a lot of players, the vast majority, the bosses just end up being giant HP sponges. Greer is the biggest culprit of this, I think, as well as Sunqua Peak. Not Sunqua, no, Sunqua Peak's great. Silent Surf and Fractals, where that was originally basically tuned to be a strike and then brought down. That fight, Silent Surf compared to Sunkwar Peak, which I think is among the best encounters and the most fun to play in all of Guild Wars 2. Silent Surf just drags. The mechanics aren't particularly hard, but it takes a long time just from the sheer amount of HP that the boss has. Sunkwar Peak in and of itself is a relatively challenging fight, but it's also shorter, it's punchy. You only really have to deal with mechanics a handful of times, and once you understand it, then you can go and blast through, whereas Silent Surf, you just have to deal with the same mechanics all the time, just constantly, because the boss has such a large amount of health. A longer fight doesn't make a more fun fight. A fight that is an appropriate length with the right mix of mechanics and the right, I don't know, sort of gameplay loop or rhythm to the fight, that's what makes an encounter really fun, whereas just a boss having more health because, oh, we don't want people to blast through it. There's no real difference in effort between, you know, nailing the mechanics on a boss and blasting through it really quickly, or just having to deal with more mechanics. Like, the difficulty's still the same. It doesn't matter if you have to dodge one attack once or you have to dodge that same attack 10 times. You still know how to dodge it. You still get that reward and you demonstrate that skill. A longer fight doesn't necessarily make a better fight.
Time to do
Yeah, and what makes Sunkwar really good is that, yeah, you sort of have those shorter burst phases where then you have to go and do another mechanic, and then you come back, you burst, you go and do another mechanic, and it's fun, it's engaging. Greer is the same mechanic, just over what is, for most players, I think about a 20-minute fight, or at least a 15-minute fight. It takes so long, and it's really just throw as many projectile reflects as you possibly can at the fight, and the more you have, the better time you're going to have. Yeah, it's a world boss fight. Yeah, it is a world boss fight. And the fact that that arena is so large, and also another great thing about Sunkwar Peak, the arena is quite small, but you still have to move around it, but it's short enough where you're like, okay, boss is over here, we need to make a beeline over here, we can close that gap with a movement skill, we're going to have a good time. Whereas Greer, you're hoofing it. You're going on a leisurely jog to go over to one of the other bosses and then come back, and then go back again. You find CM convergences to normal public runs just because people are better? Yeah. And yeah, when you balance things around, no, we don't want the top tier players, the people who are actually, you know, over 9% of the damage benchmark. We don't want them to blast through it. Like, okay, they don't, like, they're just spending a bit longer in the fight. It's not really any more difficult to them than if it was a 5-minute encounter versus a 15-minute encounter. It's just longer and more boring. Whereas now for the regular player, it's going to take an astronomical amount of time, because the difference between damage that players can do in Guild Wars 2 is stark. Really hope that Greer CM doesn't end up like Launch Lonely Tower CM. I hope so too. Oh yeah, and targeted ball is half the time bugged reflect now. Yes, and a fight that is... Greer is actually a relatively punishing fight with that targeted ball. If you get caught in that, you can get just defeated so easily if people can't get to you in time. It is not hard to be defeated on that fight. That fight being... A fight being punishing is okay if you can get back into it really quickly. But a punishing fight that has relatively straightforward mechanics but is really long, but it just like bops you on the head occasionally, that's not fun. Yeah, killing Greer should give you a gift of exploration, given how much you're walking, it feels like it. Whereas Decima, which Decima 1 I think just has, well, it's probably straight up has lower health. It may not even be lower health, it might just be the fact that you don't, it's probably the fact you don't have to kill other mobs as well. That's what adds so much to the time. Decima, because you have that set time which you have to complete it, you have engaging mechanics, Decima stands head and shoulders above Greer in Wing 8. Like, people are quite happy to farm Decima and just repeat that over and over, because again, you can get back to it very quickly, you're not losing this huge amount of time. Whereas, oh no, 3 people have gone down and we're like 70% of the way through Greer, we may as well GG now, despite the fact we spent 5 minutes here, or else this is literally going to take us half an hour. And even for Silent Surf in particular, if that just had the level of HP that Sunqua Peak did, you'd have a, honestly, especially on CM, a pretty top tier fractal. The mechanics are interesting and engaging enough where if you just only had to deal with them a handful of times, it would be pretty good. But the fact you just have to deal with them over and over and over again. And then honestly, the last phase where it actually, aside from one mechanic, actually gets easier, but just takes longer. Decima's less boring, but not by much, at least on stack. And potentially because I've never actually been on stack, I've always been on the range group or kiting. That's why I have probably a different view of Decima. But at least there, like, people are doing something, and it's an appropriate length for a raid encounter. Whereas Greer has the length of an open world encounter or a convergence just on that one boss, which it doesn't gel. And it's why, honestly, like, Wing 1 feels great to do in raids, because each boss takes an appropriate amount of time. Wing 2 feels great. Wing 3. Wing 3 is bad because of... No, Wing 3 is not bad, but it's not as good as Wing 1 and 2, entirely because of Escort. Keep Construct itself, great. Twisted Castle, super annoying, because the only way to really learn that is to fail it like a whole bunch of times and hope that someone gets through. It's a really tough one to actually get pug groups to learn. But Keep Construct is great, and Zera is great, but it is held back by just how long Escort is. If Escort was a third the length, it would be fine. And also what makes Escort bad is if, 3 people go down halfway through, you have to make the decision of, we can still do this. There's no reason we can't. It is now just going to take forever. It's not any harder. It's just longer. And that's also one of the problems with Greer as well, where if people go down, it's like, this isn't any harder. It's just going to take forever. We're now tossing up, like, how much is our time worth? Oh, is this one not going down? Cool. Oh, what if they nerf Silent Surf health but add the pre-event back for CM? No, like, yeet the pre-event entirely. Honestly, yeet that from the normal version as well. It doesn't need to be there, and platforming in that way is not one of Guild Wars 2's strengths. That's not something that it should do. Guild Wars 2 does a lot of things great. Its combat system is top tier. Like, how the game feels to control, how, your skills feel, just the overall just combat system of the game, I think is honestly, like, it's about on par with, like, a lot of what single player dedicated, action games are. It's great. It's platforming, particularly aside, like, jumping puzzles, okay, that's fine because the movement system feels good. Jumping puzzles are mostly okay. But when it's like, oh, you have to now interact through a bunch of vents which are impacted by lag, and you just feel that lag, and you have to use a bunch of really specific skills only for that thing. That is not one of Guild Wars 2's strengths. So Guild Wars 2 should not do that. Are there any more chests for me to open? I straight up cannot remember. There probably is. Oh yes. Coward, how's it going, mate? Welcome in. Looking forward to raiding tonight.
Replenishing.
Load chests.
I chose you.
What's the plan for this evening? Let's take a look, actually, because I believe it's just going to be yourself, me, and PD tonight. Oh, you hate your bank at the moment? Is it essences? DRMs when? I'm quite happy to not do DRMs for a little bit. Potentially look at them maybe on Sunday. Essence and unidentified gear, yeah. Quick wing on to HTCM today. Even on Sunday, when we were a bit optimistic and thinking that we could do wings 1 to 8 on EU, we got 6 wings out of 8 done. Wing 1 through 8, and then all the strike missions up to HTCM, that would actually... I feel like even if we got, like, the HTCM clear group together, you're talking probably about 4 hours for the raids themselves. That's if we're one-pulling everything. And then you're probably talking... Yeah, you're probably talking like another 2 hours for strikes, maybe even add another extra half hour for HTCM to get the shake the rust off. You're talking about 6.5 hours. Oh, what was I actually saying? Okay, what do we got? We got a wing 1 is emboldened, cool. We've got wing 2 is juiced for money, and Wing 8. It would probably be good if Secrets do HTCM weekly so don't get rusty. Why not though? Just do it daily. 7 accounts, do it daily. So PD no longer needs LI. Oh, cool. We're actually getting a fair amount of Astral Claim there. Oh, also, one thing I better actually do super quick. Where is my Ellie? That one. Cool. I think I actually have like a quite stacked birthday present here. There's less need for training tonight from the people who have registered. We'll see. Because it'd be good to get some Wing 8 done. Because that's always a good one to get practice on. To heal Scourge or heal Catastrophe. We're doing heal Scourge because we need footage for it for an upcoming build guide. No, Scourge is actually a pretty stacked healer at the moment. Oh, you're making explorable dungeons better to solo as well. You can solo them. You'd rather do HCM every week than Greer? It's actually an interesting fight. Yes. I completely agree.
Sweet, sweet.
30 spirit shards. Nice. It's not a... Well, it's a big birthday present. What's that? I can't remember. Birthday card? I can't remember which birthday present it was. It might be like 11.
Sharp mind.
No, I think it could be the case of we start off with a Wing 8, and then with the remaining 2 hours we go like 1, 2, 3, see what we can get done in the time. We could use KOCM at some point. Not sure we can do that tonight. Yeah, I don't think we can do that tonight, and also I haven't commanded that much myself, so I'd be coming in not blind for a lot. I vaguely know what to do. I sort of just brute force my way through it. But yeah, getting a KOCM. I straight up don't have KOCM on NA yet either as well. But yeah, I think we start with Wing 8. And then with the remaining time we have, we blast through... Or even... We could do strikes. I could command they need a tag for KOCM. We're on NA tonight though, that's the thing. Yeah, actually, maybe strikes for a good change of pace. Yeah, let's do a Wing 8 and then maybe move on to strikes if you're keen for that. Good with strikes, yeah. Good with strikes as in excluding Wing 8. If I try and just go into that and blast. But yeah, maybe let's... Let's just get raid mode going. Yeah, I have a feeling you're doing Wing 8 tomorrow anyway. Yeah, let's do that then. Let's do strikes. Okay. In that case, actually... Title is Scourge. I'm not going to change the title. We're doing Scourge. I actually don't need strike footage of Scourge. Let's do all the strikes. Battlestar Temple of Thebes, yeah. I still need to blast that out on EU as well. The tricky part on NA is honestly the time zone. And I feel like, yeah, we need to get HTCM done on NA really before diving into Thebe. Also because the damage requirements are going to be much higher. So that's one of the things we struggled with on NA was getting the damage. Yeah, the time zone's awful. Yeah, like the Australian time zone is unique in that it is bad everywhere. It's just slightly less bad on EU. Where are you? Let's go PD and Cald. And we can just go into the... Oh, I need to actually change this to raids and strikes. Hang on. Raids and strikes. Save changes. There we go. We've got PD, cool. Oh, my Arc DPS isn't working, so I can't actually label things. It's 9 a.m. on EU now, kind of early. Yeah, and what's the time in... time in California? Yeah, it's midnight in California right now, and if I was to do New York... Yeah, midnight, yeah. And in New York, it's 3 a.m. It's really not a good time. /D. Oh. Well, I've done... The commands I just typed have interacted with the Snowcrow site in some way. I'm just going to exit out of that and pretend we don't see that. Sup. I will do all strikes tonight. It's good for us night owls. Yeah, I'm massively a night owl as well. In fact, it's only recently that Jess and I are actually trying to get our sleeping patterns in order and become less night owls. We always have been night owls, but yeah, we're trying to go from going to bed at like 2 in the morning to, you know, going to bed at like 11, which has been nice. Okay, just let me know what role you want to play. I'll be doing Heal Scourge. It's okay time on the weekend, but all for the prog anything in the weekday. Yeah, that's what I find particularly on Mondays at the moment. Well, yeah, no Mondays, because when I stream on Mondays, it's still... Oh yeah, we'll do a Forging Steel as... Can you do Forging Steel with 10 people? Can you actually? Or is it a party deal? Oh yeah, we can do that with... Hey, let me go check.
I'm at your service.
Yeah, so where is it? Yeah, Uncowed, if you be quick DPS, that'd be sweet. And, Gil was to Forging Steel. It's been years since you did it. I did it recently, and I normally always solo. Okay, so it's technically a strike mission. Okay, yeah, so it can be a squad. Alright. Think we can do it with 10. Yeah, that would be good. I just literally need someone who's opened it. And Lou, what's up? How's it going? It's great to see you. So let's do IBS 5 plus FS. EOD 5. Soto. Soto 2. Boone heal. Boone DPS. DPS. State roll. Oh, fine. Plus Cold War. Cold War actually doesn't take that long. And yes, if anyone does want to join us, you can join up with us here. But yeah, if someone can like open Forging Steel, that would be good. I can't do it on this character, as long as someone can. You're doing Forging Steel at the moment. Wonderful. We got here. Why is Inspect Cosmetics right above Kick from Squad? Nice. Always love the Perfected Envoy armor. It looks so good. Rocking a spear as well. We're going dual spears. Surprisingly filled up. Oh, nice. Are you doing it with 10?
Time to do some real damage.
Oh, public. Okay. We got to heal quick. Okay, that's heal quick. Let's go. PD, can you a DPS? What scales if he has less? Okay, cool. If you go a DPS, so now it's just DPS. Cold War. Let's get it done. Feel free to do IBS 5. 5 plus Cold War. Start. We'll do FS after. Perfect. I've got the boons covered, so yeah, now we can just do DPS. So yeah, if anyone wants to join us, join up on us there. All in sub 1 DPS. Here, I don't know, some stability. Oh, cool. Welcome. And sure, people can drop for those, that's fine. As long as we can get going, that's fine. I'd rather not wait around if I don't need to. Welcome in, Cat. No, just subgroup. Hey, we can give some ages, it's fine.
Trouble.
There we go. Yeah, it's not that long. It's longer than you'd like. Orca, what's up, mate? Oh, that's all good, mate. Thank you for the heads up. Now let's just click the ready check. That's right, like we should be fine. For strikes, it's not that critical that we have Aegis and stability. Plus Cloud knows what's up. They'll be able to give stability if we need. Yeah, we'll cancel the ready check. Should I record? Probably. Yes, that's more B-roll for me. Also, I don't have B-roll of this one. And catch you later, Orca. Thank you for popping in. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Servant of mine, walk this land.
Cool. Once we are ready, Spaghetti, we will blast. In and start blasting. Oh, I'm really sorry to hear that, Lou. Condolences with you and your family. Feel free, if you wanted to link out to the GoFundMe, feel free to put that in the Discord if you like. More than happy for that. I'm really sorry to hear that, mate. I hope you're doing okay with all the fires out there. Just keep blasting Alacrity. I'm so sorry to hear about all that. Yeah. That sucks, and I'm really sorry to hear it. But here we basically just blast. At least, yeah, we formed up a group that's doing all of them, because, yeah, this is definitely one that people do tend to just AFK. Angryfield, welcome in. I'm actually from the bridge events. Oh, nice. Your vision took your total about 12 hours, and getting all bridges were about 3 hours played. Nice. 3 hours for that is pretty good. Yeah, I'm really sorry to hear that, Lou. I hope you and your family are able to get through this. It's, I imagine, a very, very tough time for you and everyone in LA at the moment, so my thoughts are with you, mate. Okay. Now let us... I think, yeah, we just really just continue blasting here. Ref took Jalis. Oh, yeah, Cow took Jalis. That's no issues at all. Cow knows what's up. But I'm glad you were able to get Vision, Phil, and yeah, as soon as I, did a bit of looking into and found out the trick with the bridge events, oh, it just made life so much easier. It's just taking you forever, especially if you don't have Living World Season 4 Skyscale already as a part of it. Yeah, that is going to take you a while. But hopefully we were able to provide you a bit of distraction here. So yeah, we'll probably get through all the IBS ones, then we can take a break, go stretch our legs before EOD and Soto. Jahai Bluffs achievements are the last ones. Nice. Yeah, if I had to, they were one of the ones that held me up as well. And I appreciate that, Lou. That's very considerate of you. Thank you. But yeah, the Jahai Bluffs ones were one of the ones that not really gated me, but they were one of the ones I procrastinated on a lot. But they probably took me about 3 hours one stream evening to blast out all the ones I didn't have from doing like the story achievements. And make sure you check the wiki, because there's going to be a bunch of hidden achievements there as well that won't show up immediately in the achievement tab that are way easier to complete. Oh, I'm very glad I can motivate you there. Last high achievement you got was doing the sniper story mission without getting sniped. Oh yeah, that one took me a few attempts as well. Mostly because I was getting a bit too eager, thinking we could blitz through when we couldn't. That probably took us about 3 attempts, I think, to do. I'm glad I didn't have to do Convergence, or the Elegy 2 achievement. I saw that in the list, I'm like, oh no, that is actually going to take me a few weeks to do. Just took Scrap with 100% super speed, that's a great one as well. Yeah, Scrapper, honestly, playing with super speed is so good. Scrapper's one of the best, just like quality of life solo builds you can have, because yeah, quickness, super speed, it's great. I've been trying to do all the do bear venge for Clobian. What does that entail? Sneak gyro helps. Hell yeah, it would. Got no arc DPS, so I can't tell if anyone's slacking, so I'm going to trust that everyone's not. And if you want to know how to play Heal Scourge, really just press every button except Signet of Undeath as it lights up and you're going to do okay. When's the next Janthia Wilds update? I believe I actually worked it out. I think it's like February 25th or 26th, depending on where you are in the world. I think it's February 26th for me. It's just plotting out when our next, round of drops week, would be. Oh yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, you can check the Wizard Vault as well, which I did a few days ago. Yeah, so 41 days from now, whatever that is. But the actual date, I think it's like February 26th or something. I checked it about a week ago. And Amelia, how can you re-enter the same story instance for achievement need for the Bloodstone Heal piece? You'll basically... I'll show you after this. But you basically go into your story journal and select the episode you need, and then go like replay this episode, and then it should give you markers on the map for like particular story missions so you can re-enter them for achievements. Still got time for Wizard's Vault then. Yeah, I've been slacking on my Wizard's Vault stuff as well. Yeah, I think we are getting a balance patch before that as well, maybe? Jump that. Oh, how did someone die? Oh, they think they just like DC'd. So it not should be that character who played story once. No, actually you want to do it on a character that has played that story before. Because then you should have the option to go into that particular story mission for achievement. So you don't need to play the story from the start, no. You go on the character you've done it on, that's going to make your life easier. Sufferance, how's it going? Welcome in. Okay, I think it's final boss now. You don't even really need to swap weapons on Heal Scourge as well. Actually, Heal Scourge is one of the really weird builds where the weapon you use doesn't have that much impact. So you can kind of just use whatever weapons you want, and Heal Scourge, because its utility is kind of entirely tied to its Shroud skills and its utility skills, it really doesn't matter what weapon you bring. You can just bring whatever you want, it's going to be fine. Dagger's great for Insane Life Force, Torch is good for CC and Life Force, Warhorn gives you some extra healing plus some CC, so that's pretty hype. Sword works, Staff probably works, Scepter would work for Boon Corrupt. And you're definitely for Vision, I completely agree, Angry Phil. Build up those other currencies through things like World vs. World and Eternal Ice. That's going to make your life much easier. And yeah, the World vs. World reward tracks instead of the 5 Mastery Achievements can recommend that wholeheartedly. And yeah, that's right, you can just do the World vs. World reward tracks for them as well. That's what I did wherever possible. I've been sick this week and wish it can go away now. I really hope you feel better soon, Sufferance. Yeah, being sick is awful. And you get memories about it, which you need, yes.
Replenishing.
Hey, thank you, Driven Apollo, for the follow. I need to turn on my... I can stop recording. Just literally show literally everything. There we go. Bam, bam, bam.
Shine.
I actually get quite a bit of loot from doing that one. And yeah, if you've already done most of the achievements, yeah, you may as well finish from story. But yeah, if you... Especially if you do enjoy some world versus world, do that, because then you can use the skirmish claim ticks a whole bunch of currency. Get good loot, but at what cost? Just time. Like, we're exactly one Cold War closer to death. Strike mission, Bone Skinner. And especially the return to achievement, or return to achievements, yes, but also the bonus things that we've got going now. It's also very handy.
Replenishing.
Already know, already know, already know, already know, already know. Already know all the things. Oh, craft material coffer, probably.
Sweet, sweet root.
Yes, some of the achievements are actually easier than others. But especially because I was working on Conflux at the same time and I needed to do so much world versus world anyway for Conflux, figured I may as well just do the stuff for it there as well. I do the reward tracks for Living Wild. Step to left, let's see. And gone immediately. That's alright. Bone Skin is a relatively chill one. Just remember, always step to the left. And you definitely do your Draconis Mon hearts as much as is humanly possible. Give ourselves some barrier. That's good. We've still got healers, so we've actually got 2 healers for less people, so people are going to have an easier time.
Impressive combination.
Good use of pulls. Yep, you want to be tight on the stack here as much as is possible. Straight up, just walking to the left will do. You don't even need to dodge. Like a dodge if you've missed, but yeah, you can just straight up walk. And yeah, you don't want to be sitting in any of those AoEs. And yeah, if you get knocked down by this, prepare to eat a tick or two of the actual AoE damage.
Slice them apart.
Oh boy. And we still technically get gold.
All mine.
Yeah, I like walking left. Yeah, if you you get used to timing the fight, you can just walk left. Yeah, and angry. That's why the return to achievements, which just give you a flat 250 of each of the map currencies, are just so valuable. Because, yeah, you just completely negate the need to gather any of the material currencies, or the map currencies, especially for Aurora.
I could outrun it. Time to do some real damage.
I need to rebind my record button because it's set to like Control-Alt-Shift-R, because I'm like, R for record. Oh wait, R is also one of my skills, so whenever I toggle a recording, I'll activate a skill, which is okay, but it's also not great. And yeah, Orient Pearls, and particularly Living World Season 4 currency, they're the ones you're going to be short on because you need so many.
Go forth, my men.
You'll have to get my time.
So can you put pedals for easier keybinds? That would actually be quite handy, although I do fidget a lot when I sit, so I'd be triggering things all the time.
Replenish it. Lethal combination. I like it.
But we've got the Stream Deck for so many easy keybinds as well. Could probably set up like voice command, like start recording. But then that'd probably get a bit annoying for everyone. Pretty sure like voice activation is something I could probably do with StreamerBot as well. Don't stand in the middle. If you got the what do you call it? The chains, do not move. Just stand still and do not stand in the boss's hitbox. Make a channel point redemption for 10 channel points. It is actually like, I did contemplate, yeah, having like the clip command activated, because it used to also like save a 3-minute backtrack recording to my hard drive. Did contemplate having that, you know, permanently like available for everyone, but I am running a bit short on hard drive space at the moment. I just wouldn't want it to necessarily be on a cooldown, because I want it always active, like always available to use when we need. But also don't want it so readily accessible. So the only reason that we haven't ran out of capacity on our server at the moment is because I pulled a faulty drive out of it, which I replaced with a repaired drive, because we were getting some hard drive errors on it, so we got a replacement one from Amazon. But I pulled that faulty drive out and put that in my main desktop, and I put all my Guild Wars 2 footage on there rather than on the server, so I freed up an extra 6 terabytes. I've tried downloading more storage in the same way I've tried downloading more RAM. Yeah, storage.mp3.exe. Yeah, simultaneously it's going to steal all your information, not give you more RAM, and all of a sudden you're mining crypto for someone in like Russia. It's great. We've somehow gone full circle. We've gone back to the old LimeWire days where, yeah, your computer just got so infected by so many viruses because you wanted to download like that sketchy copy of Numb by Linkin Park. Oh wait, I should probably do that. Oh, we got 2 flesh worms. We've come back to that now. It's really quite funny as well. I'm actually not quite sure how you managed to get that thing through because it's recognized as a link, but I've got link protection set up, so no, that's fun. Oh wait, no, it's because you're a VIP. I think that lets you put links. Because the link protection is always
I haven't done strike missions since the heel Scourge change.
Ooh, nice.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, bone skin is a bit rougher now. And the daily Amir. Special treatment? Yeah, you've earned that special treatment now. And here, trail. Okay, we've got our loot just sitting there. I don't need.
I think I still have an achievement on this one. Something
don't need
to do
flash
with
mode.
CCing or can't remember.
Okay. Well, I guess.
Something that we don't do though anymore because you know, who does mechanics on this one?
Oh yeah, there's just no mechanics here. And yeah, CPC as well. That's not a bad point. IBS's mechanics. Only Bone Skinner has mechanics, and it's step to the left. Just literally press every button off cooldown, and Heal Scourge just kind of works. You can obviously time your barrier for more opportune moments, but you can get honestly 80% of the way to a really effective Heal Scourge by pressing everything off cooldown. Save your stability.
You have to break their defiance bar 5 times.
Oh wow, yeah, that's gonna be super hard to do. They just melt in that time.
Defiance bars anymore. You would have to like come in and just not DPS at all until the break bars get up.
Yeah, that'd actually be a pain to coordinate. Don't have to save F4 for the transfusion. Yeah, you just blast it for healing now. Make sure we juice. Oh, Cal's volume's already pretty juiced.
That's a 1-day list.
Yeah, one day we'll do it. Setting up a heal chrono. Got almost everything except the worst part, Runes of the Monk. Grab Runes of Rebirth for the time being. They're super cheap off the trading post, and they're going to get you most of the way there. But yeah, on my EU account, particularly before I got a whole bunch of dungeon currency, yeah, I just use Rebirth Runes. Oh, I actually did just that? Hell yeah. Honestly, that's fine. Hey, Terrenial, welcome in, Raiders. My name is Josh or Konkane. You can also check us out over on YouTube there. Loving those emotes, by the way, as well, where we do all sorts of Guild Wars 2 build, guys. What is up, Trin? How are you going? Or Tiri, it's so good to see you. How are you going? Thank you so much for the raid. Thank you for trusting us with your community. Tell us all about your stream and what you get up to. Everyone, make sure you go drop Tiri a follow over on Twitch. But yes, what did you get up to today? Let's record B-roll and start again. Cool, I've used a skill, that's fine. But yes, thank you so much for the raid. How are you going? That's so incredibly kind of you. Aren't they basically identical besides the last stat? Monk gives healing while Rebirth gives vitality or toughness. Yeah, it gives you, it's like 200 extra toughness or something. But yes, everyone make sure you go drop Tyria a follow over on Twitch, and we got some stability there. I'll just pop that down. Oh, you don't play Guild Wars 2, but some of my community does, and I've thought about it. Oh, please don't convince you. I'll restrain myself then. Thought was a fitting place to come. I really appreciate you choosing us to raid out to. That's really kind of you. I won't convince you to play Guild Wars 2, although you really probably should. But yeah, I totally get the time requirement. Although Guild Wars 2 is an MMO that's very respectful of your time. Our stream was good, Dinkum with the kiddo, and Palia today. Oh, wonderful. How have you been enjoying Palia? Main games, Elder Scrolls Online, a bunch of your ESO buds have been playing Guild Wars 2. Ah, yeah, so if you're playing multiple MMOs, I can definitely see where the lack of time is coming from. I haven't played ESO and Palia myself, so how do you enjoy them? But yes, Guild Wars 2 is the perfect MMO if you don't have a lot of time. And Soulstar, welcome in. Oh yeah, and you play it for 14 as well. I'm not quite sure how you do anything at all outside of that. That's a solid effort. See, I don't have time for... Like, honestly, I play a bit of Path of Exile on the side nowadays, and yet we barely have time for that among Guild Wars 2, which is a game that is very respectful of your time that you should be playing. But yeah, all those MMOs. That is a solid and very respectful effort. Because right now we are blasting out some strike missions, which are sort of very... some of the easier endgame group content. Give stability here, we ignore mechanics, nice. You're playing multiple MMOs taxing, I can imagine, yeah. But this is all the introductory endgame content here. We're working our way through all of them tonight. Every single one. You can jump that shockwave as well if you didn't know. As I am playing Heal Scourge, basically a healer that revives people from the dead and gives them a whole bunch of barriers, so blocks. It gives them like extra health on top of their health. And we actually get our loot mailed to us there, so we actually don't need to open those chests. Nice little tip. Hey, thank you, Randall, for the follow. I super appreciate that, mate. Loving that command, Faro. Thank you for suggesting that. Palia was chill times tonight. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. You've been slowly working on some relationships that need some work still. A little bit of plushie hunting, some hot pot and black market browsing. It does sound like a very cozy game to play. My partner Jess has been on the hunt for a whole bunch of cozy games to play in her off time and eventually on Twitch as well. And Palia has definitely been on the list as like a nice cozy MMO to play. Shiver Peaks Pass. There we go. Been loving Palia as well. Nice low pressure game once a week. It's good when you can have those nice cozy low pressure games that you can just jump into. It's great to have those. Palia is free, but Temple Shiny is in the store. Nice. Well, it's good to hear that it is free. Guild Wars 2 has a free-to-play... think of it like a free-to-play trial. The core game, as it was released in 2012, is free-to-play, and then it's a once-off purchase for the expansions, and then no sub-fee. So it's sort of a buy once, play forever type of game. And they do have their premium currency for fancy skins and just quality of life stuff in the gem store, their premium currency. Not pay to win by any stretch, it's just convenience and cosmetics.
You stay put.
So it sounds like Palia's got a nice little monetization model there.
Have gotten worse since Bangar left. You'll have to find another way up.
So we have to go up this very icy tunnel, not get bopped by the snowball. We just give people stability so they ignore it. And you can convert gold to gems. Yeah, that's what I do. The premium currency... you can actually do currency exchange and convert in-game gold into gems, which is what I do. I'll farm up gold in-game, and then I'll convert that to gems if I ever want to buy something. So yeah, it's been years and years since I've spent any real money on Guild Wars 2 outside the purchase of the expansions. You actually feel kind of crummy for not having played Guild Wars 2. They gave you a code with no obligation to stream it some time ago, and you thought about playing many times. Would love to give it a go if you have some free time one day. I definitely recommend it. But that's really cool, they sent you a code. That is awesome. And yeah, 100% you should give it a shot. Like if you're a Palia enjoyer, ESO enjoyer, and you also don't have a huge amount of time, Guild Wars 2 is a game that is hugely respectful of your time. There is no vertical gear progression. The gear I got back in 2012 is just as good now as it was back then. It doesn't take that long to get, characters geared as well. I think once you reach level 80, probably like the max level, which is basically the end of the tutorial, the level 1 to 80 experience is kind of just teaching you the ropes of the game. That can really be done in a couple hours. Then it's really even for a new player, a few hours of just playing the game and you'd have enough gold and currency to buy like a set of endgame gear. That would be perfect for 90% of all endgame content. So it's a game that you can really dive into endgame super quickly, and you do not need to constantly be on that treadmill as well. And because there's no sub fee, you can always come back. Looks like you have Heart of Thorns, Path to Fight, End of Dragons. Right there, you've got thousands upon thousands of hours of content that, if you really dive into it, even with the story, that's like if you sort of just tunnel vision the story, you're probably talking maybe like 100 or 120 hours of content, somewhere in that ballpark. Yes, 9+ years of content. Yeah, that's 9+ years of release content as well. And that's just excluding any of like the actual endgame stuff. If you just tunnel vision story, that's probably what you're talking about. But yeah, that is some insane value. Like Guild Wars 2, for the sheer amount of time I played Guild Wars 2 for over 11,000 hours across multiple accounts, the sheer amount of value I've gotten from it, it completely eclipses any other game. Story is definitely a gem. Guild Wars 2 has quite a fun story as well. The quality of the story, like, it definitely improves from the core game, like the initial game as it was released. Once you dive into the expansions, I think that's when it really hits its stride. But yeah, I've still found it quite fun playing through the core story as well. It's just, it's old. Get exotic berserkers gear, learn to have high DPS, and you're set for all group content. Unironically, that is pretty good advice. You might need to look at, if you have the living story, the story between the X-Pack. Yeah, the living world story is like DLC that takes place between the X-Packs. And you can either buy that with gems, which you can use real money for, or farm up gold to buy them as well. Hey Faro, thanks for the standing desk. That's good. We have been doing a fair amount of driving today as well, so it's good for me to stand up. And thank you as well. So we'll do FS now. Can someone open the squad version?
I can outrun a centaur.
And on this tune. And we'll stop recording. Excellent. Yeah, if someone can open Forging Steel, that will be sweet.
All mine. Now you're mine.
And yeah, sure thing, Cow. We can start on HT, so then we can, or you can swap to Condi.
Sharp blade, sharp.
Oddly enough, I did Forging Steel not that long ago, and we are back.
Aren't you the sorriest bunch of recruits I've ever laid eyes on? Report to Centurion Steelcatcher for work details.
Okay, so we do have a spot open if you are keen. Just loves the pain. We embrace it. Strike missions, advertise. No, Forging Steel. EOD5 Soto 2, advertise your group. I think it's just straight DPS. Yeah, we're fine. Cool, we got someone. Oh, cat sniffed your fresh pineapple. Eventually, no, normally just shoo him away from your food. Had to see what his reaction was. Not a pineapple enjoyer, I take it then. We tried to do that with our golden retriever Addie with, I was at lemon back in the day because dogs are supposedly meant to really not like lemon, but she's so trusting, she just ate it. Was reasonably happy with it, wasn't appalled by it at all. Hey, thank you Raspberry Dreams for the follow as well, I super appreciate that. Alpha, welcome in. Hey, what builds would you suggest for DPS, boon DPS, and heal? There's a lot of great options there, and basically any build that I recommend I have covered on my YouTube channel. There's still like others out there that I haven't covered yet, but if it's on my channel, I recommend it. If you want the most flexibility, Chronomancer, because you can do DPS Chronomancer, Boon Chronomancer, which will do every boon, and Heal Chronomancer, which will do literally everything. You have every one of those roles covered. And yeah, at the end of the day, like whatever boon DPS and DPS build you enjoy. But for... And what are we doing here? Let's see. But I like things like Power Vindicator, Power Scourge, Condi Scourge, Power Reaper, Condi Power Virtuoso. They're all great for DPS. Soul Beast as well is also a great one. Okay, I don't know why it's not doing its thing. Oh well. And yeah, Herald is great for boon DPS. Renegade's also great for DPS and boon DPS. Heal Herald and Heal Renegade are both pretty good. Heal Herald being better. But honestly, like, there's so many amazing options out there now. But for my personal favorite, if I'm going for a DPS, I'm going Scourge, Vindicator, or Virtuoso. If I'm going for a heal, I'm going Scourge, Chronomancer, or Herald. If I am going for boon DPS, it's probably going to be Chronomancer or Herald. Oh yeah, Core Mesmer does take a bit to get going. You definitely want the specializations, the subclasses for it. But there's so many good ones out there that... yeah, every class is going to have great builds. And thanks so much for the lurk, Terry. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Everyone, go drop Terry a follow, as I will make sure that I do. I'm on a different window here. Hang on. There we go. And followed. Come on, button. Oh, already followed. Excellent. Wonderful. Amazing. Oh, we have to find Alpine Blossoms now. Let's go pick them up. Oh, you spammed Artificing so you can actually use your specializations. Yeah, like getting Chronomancer and Virtuoso in particular all set up. Yeah, you're going to have a good time. Regarding heals, did some curse striking yesterday with PK. QDPS power, firebrand, you heal Blade Sworn and the True Ham. Heal Lack Mirage. PK was telling me that you were doing some scuffed things there. How did you find it? How was Heal Mirage in particular, aside from a few different kinds of cursed? Warband members ready. Why is it not letting us do?
Storm's getting worse. Recruits, pick up the pace.
Do we just turn on every challenge? Yep, just all challenges. Why not?
Oh, we're doing challenge mode.
Figure we might as well. We got 10 peeps.
You're in the Steel Warband now.
Which one's not done
I
yet?
expect nothing short of absolute.
It's probably the tank one, but for some reason the tank's not doing its thing.
I did the tank.
Okay, we've
I
done...
did sniper, and we did the collection.
I guess we gotta throw these health tonics now.
Oh, yeah. There it is.
Heal Mirage, only used on Ceres, wouldn't dare use it on Skinner. Heal Mirage, fine terms of boons. Dodge and place needs some serious getting used to though. Oh, I can imagine, yeah. Heal Blaze Horn for IBS 5 and DS was fine, albeit a bit slow on stability. Yeah, I really wish... like, Heal Berserker makes sense. I kind of wish Spellbreaker was more of the healer. I think thematically it makes sense.
Before we freeze our tails off.
Yeah, the fact Spellbreaker has no boons. Yeah, it's like the boon removal class, but it gives no boons itself. It's really weird. I find the idea of Berserker Healer hilarious. Oh, Heal Berserker is really, really good and quite fun to play. And Heal Blaze one's also pretty good. It's just a bit of a weird build.
Don't get carried away, Cub. Still got a mission to complete.
Mika, you're barely older than the rest of us.
Oh, we're down at DPS. Oh no, we actually, the group's locked now. Damn it. Oh, it's just a DPS, it's fine. That's a bit annoying because the group should be locked after that.
I'm not really.
If they left during the pre,
Doesn't matter who's playing after you slam down 12
that would have been fine.
My tonics are for medicinal purposes.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone can join.
Yeah, I don't think they can at this point. Divine, how are you going, mate?
Visual on the enemy. Snipers to my position.
Actually, I think you used to be able to, but I don't know on challenge modes.
If anyone can, feel free
That might
to...
have been public though too, so maybe not. I'm not sure.
This'll be fun.
Need some help behind the tank.
Felt that one, I bet.
Oh, someone else has got that. Where'd someone die? Oh, they're all the way back there. Are they straight up? I don't know, I thought they were AFK. Let's try. Is this real? Is Heal Scourge? Yeah, it's Heal Scourge.
All targets. Cooling.
Here we go. Take, delete, take, delete. Thanks, Savara. I just literally found one of your old mails from HTCM days. Still had 69 copper. Love Scourge the Mac. I do as well. Oh, sweet. They're able to get in. Oh, hell yeah. Good. And jump. And yeah, for a few minutes of work, you can get 7 clovers. Oh, it's insane the value you get, actually.
You're scaring the recruits.
DS is very worth it as well. It is if you have all the masteries.
Gotta teach 'em the pecking.
I believe you get extra rewards for that.
Area secure.
What's your panic button on Heal Scourge? It's really going to be a combination of Garish Pillar and Well of Blood. That's where honestly most of your healing comes from, and it doesn't have a great amount of burst healing. It has great sustained healing, barrier, and revive potential. But yeah, the sheer amount of barrier you have, that usually keeps people topped up.
Ryland, you agree with me, right? I get orders and I...
And let's check as well.
That's what a soldier does.
And here, yeah, Shroud 4 heals and partially revives allies. So yeah, that will heal and it will also revive peeps. And I think also, there's another trait. Yeah, cast Lesser Well of Blood when reviving an ally, and that revives people in each pulse. So yeah, what you can do is throw down a Well of Blood on someone, then Shroud 4, then start reviving them. Manually, that will place down another Well of Blood. That's sort of a whole bunch of it. And you have a big burst heal when F5 ends. Yes, you also have that. Let's see. Where is it? Yeah, heal allies in an area when you exit Shroud. Yes, and then you also have grant barrier to yourself and nearby allies when you use a healing skill. Yeah, so whenever you heal, you're just going to pump out barrier. And obviously a lot of the finesse from Scourge comes from using your barrier to negate really like significant mechanics like the green circles on Veil Guardian. Because yeah, you can just spam all your buttons off cooldown and you'll kind of get the job done. But if you really want to excel, you want to take note of where your barrier is and then, yeah, save it for when you actually need it to cover a mechanic. And Pug, you still run Mercy Relic? Yeah, Mercy Relic for the insane like revive potential as well is a great one. You run Monk as well for increased healing output. There's a lot of good stuff you can do. Yeah, a lot of Relic works for it. Make sure there's nothing behind it. And yeah, Scourge is a great one because it also doesn't matter what weapons you run it. You can kind of just run whatever you want. But Dagger's great for the insane amount of life force generation. You get CC on Torch, which is good. You get healing and CC. Is that healing? What is it? Siphon's health. Let's see. Does that interact with anything? I could have sworn that used to heal. Siphon damage. Oh, Siphon's health to you and your allies. Yeah, that's where it is. Yeah, so you actually do a huge amount of healing with it as well. So healing and CC, which is good.
Stone summon wars, slavers, cannibals, performers of profane rituals.
Renault, get us through that door. Here's up, recruit.
Almost certainly haunted rooms.
Right. We didn't prep for an evil dwarf research.
Yeah, there's a lot of really good traits for it. Not really traits, really good relics.
On our own. That's what we're gonna do.
For the charge!
That's enough. Bring me what you got.
Time to bring down the Use the harpoons!
As an annoyingly glowy player character blocking your progress. Oh, so sorry to hear that.
Gates open! Steel warfare! Move in!
We've done some stupid things before. But this is something else.
Yeah, yeah. Turn down like model. Set model quality to lowest, and people will usually be wearing like just uber basic, you know, default character skins. That will take care of it for you. Oh, weekly. Here. Laurels are actually quite a low priority for me.
What the hell was that?
Not laurels, clovers, yeah, because I'm not crafting legendaries on this account.
There's a vantage point this way.
You know what, I'll deal with that later. That's just going to be me pressing for a while.
That's me. This was your plan.
I can actually double click to claim more at a time, can you? Oh yeah, not wrong.
Part of a volcano.
Nice. Keep that in mind, did not know that. It's good to halves the time we spend doing that.
We can get to high ground.
Weapon ammos.
Too many of these damn dwarves!
This is great.
An auto click was too fast for it. Nice. Oh yeah, the Wizard's Vault for new players is insane value. It truly is. Oh. Yeah, the Wizard's Vault, like, yeah, for new players, that is where you really want to be prioritized. And the sheer amount of gold and materials you can get for that is insane. It's actually between my two accounts that I usually play, that's the main way I make gold. It's where the bulk of it comes from. Going to be a shielded dwarf somewhere. So we've got to go deal with that. Yeah, if everyone else can go deal with those. Okay, that's done now. Oh, someone's up there. If we can get the revive, that would be pretty sweet. Your Mystic Coins, 90 gold, and Laurels in that order. Yeah, I think you should honestly be getting the Legendary Starter Kit as well. Because even just the Gift of Might or Magic you get from that is insane value. It's like by far and away the highest value in the Wizard's Vault. Then yeah, like gold, coins, laurels, you're going to have enough. You're going to have enough Astral Acclaim to get all of them, so just get them in whatever order is kind of most appropriate for you. I'm just going to throw down a whole bunch of barrier. Oh, cool. We can't actually do any more now. Yes, turn and do the exploration. Yeah, like you still need to actually do the exploration and have the gold on hand to make use of it. But yeah, even if you're selling the legendaries you make from that, it is insane value. What about Gold Find? A noob trap. Never ever buy the Gold Find. It is there to trick new players. The amount of gold that just drops from enemies that is actually impacted by gold find is such a hideously small amount. Like that for 1,000 astral claim, no. You will make infinitely more gold by just literally getting the base like bag of gold for astral claim than you ever will from upgrading your gold find. Is gold find tracked and kill was to efficiency? It might be. I feel like... Yeah, if anyone knows, that would be cool. I feel like it probably is. Beautiful. Yeah, we want to try and kill as many of these as we can. Nice.
Let's find out.
I wonder if I want to get 12 copper instead of 10 after 5 years. Well, if that amount of value is so important to you, then sure. Sure, then yes, you can. Yeah, that's long-term investment thinking there.
So I just noticed that we have a buff for the week. Returning hero boost, 30% XP gain, all sources. That should help.
Oh,
you.
nice. Hell yeah.
That'll help your spirit shard situation.
That'll be good on EU. Like, spirit shards, I think, are fine on NA, because I converted all my fractal relics to them. But yeah, I still need like 200 of them on EU.
What you got this week? Let's go.
But it's also, what else? Oh, provisions tokens. I need a ton of those. They're also going to be a bit of a problem. Not a problem, it's just going to be a bit annoying for me to do. I'm keen to see just how rewarding this strike, or this, yeah, I guess it is technically a strike mission. This mission is now that we actually are like buffed because we have the Return to Icebridge Saga shenanigans going.
That sure riled him up.
Renault, get your back against the wall.
You know how hard it is to steer this thing?
Stop moving. Right there. There we go.
Bring me what you got. This one's ready. Get to that quiet.
Cool, we have people going up there. Nice. Yeah, well, if anyone needs the CMs of this for any achievements, they're going to get massively rewarded on this, and then probably never do it again.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm glad we turned the CMs on. It really doesn't take that much extra time, and yeah, the rewards are going to be pretty juiced.
I probably haven't done this one since we did the CMs on it last year.
This'll be fun.
Yeah, I only did this like recently on EU because I got the Return to amulet just before Christmas. But it's going to be a few years before I do 14 Steel again.
Taking aim.
Get that freeze extended!
Cool, that one's done. Even SS doesn't make it bearable. I know, it's so long. But then we're just on to EOD and Soto. And EOD plus Soto. One thing that is really good about doing this with a group is that because there are so many more people, like these pre-events or these, you know, events you need to progress are just done so much quicker. Is an event just 1 week long? I think so. 1 week sounds about right. Yeah, honestly, just range it down. It's quicker than actually dealing with the event itself. Where's the... The APM in this build looks really low. It is, yeah. When is the Lunar Festival? That's usually around sort of February-ish, I think. I'm finally going to start your Wind and Truth read-through today. Oh, hell, you're going to have a great time. Yeah, I'm about 3/4 of the way through, loving every second of it.
Looks like we're on our own. Recruits, hold the line!
Yeah, honestly, just range it down. There we go. There we go. That's so many profit shards.
Everybody okay?
We're all in one piece.
Nice. But beautiful. We're going to take a 2-minute break and we'll be back and blast out some EOD strikes. Sit tight, we'll be back soon. And we are back. Welcome back, everyone. Okay, it is time for EOD strikes. Let us blast. Okay, we'll take a look at some of the loot that we get as well. We should basically have everyone we need. We do. Nice. CM, no, just normal mode.
This brings back memories.
It does, yes.
More recent ones for you.
It still feels weird doing this on normal mode.
Sweet, sweet loot.
Oh, cool. We just got 7 Mystic Clovers. Hell yeah. And 3 Mystic Coins. And the rest of EOD. Beautiful, there we go. Yeah, I'm not sure what was particularly unclear about that, but we'll just change it to all EOD.
Some people just gonna hate.
It's fine.
All shiny.
Cool, we've got a random Ascended Sea Glass Torch there. Nice, we got someone. Oh, Plasmo, come on in, hell yeah. I'm curious why he chose the Amalgamated Gemstone over the Ambergris. Purely because I didn't know the price of the Ambergris. I was just purely guessing that maybe the Amalgamated was higher. I know historically it's always been Ambergris, but I knew there was a price inflation in Amalgamateds a while ago. I just couldn't be bothered checking.
All shiny.
Most of the bad choices that I make are usually attributed to me being a bit too lazy to actually check. Let's get the ready check up.
Just one more confirmation of how great I am.
I could outrun a centaur.
Present arms.
Mine. All mine.
Some extra Ecto is nice. And yeah, that's true as well. No idea what the prices will do. They might do something interesting. Oh, cool. We got some food. Hell yes. Challenge mode is inactive. Oh, have you read the book The Day of the Jackal or watched the new TV show? I haven't, no. I believe I've heard of it, but I haven't watched nor read it. How is it?
Feel the arise, my creation.
Oh, which way? It's probably going this way. Aren't you tired? Yep.
Corrupted magic. Push it into the prismatic rift.
Feel the fury.
This is going the wrong way.
Now.
Speaking of books, do you have any good audiobooks you'd recommend? That's a, well,
Break it to send it back.
anything done by Brandon Sanderson is going to be read by Michael... Is it, yeah, Michael Kramer and Kate Redding. So, like, you're just universally going to have a good time in that. But yeah, I've been listening to, basically finishing off the Stormlight Archive series by Brandon Sanderson recently, which I've absolutely loved. Yeah, Michael Kramer and Kate Redding, just basically anything done by Brandon Sanderson and Robert Jordan, they probably read it. The Lord of the Rings audiobooks as well, done by or read by Andy Serkis, are also exceptional. Andy Serkis does absolutely fantastic voices for all the characters as well. I'm probably got about a third of the way through that before Wind and Truth came out, so I pivoted over to that, but I thoroughly enjoyed listening to the Fellowship of the Ring by Andy Serkis. I'm looking forward to diving back into that.
Replenishing.
Yeah, he's really good with the voices. He super is. Alright, let's try and go get some reses, I guess.
I was reading chat. Oops.
Yeah, anything by Brandon Sanderson and Andy Serkis, yes. And if you want like an introduction to Brandon Sanderson, I definitely recommend the first Mistborn series, starting with the Final Empire. I think that's probably like the best jumping off point for anything Brandon Sanderson. Did you hear about the 6-man HTCM featuring Heel Scourge? That sounds amazing. I have not heard of it, but that sounds super, super cool. Oh, Harvest Temple. Even normal mode can get you sometimes.
I could outrun a centaur.
Let's see if those stay on the group. They don't. Good. Yeah, normal mode, it's just people getting themselves. That's really all it is.
Another corrupted orb. You know what to do.
That's why you can run some really surprising healers on Harvest Temple Challenge mode, because the fight itself doesn't actually require that much healing. It's when people don't pay attention, they get bopped by mechanics. That's when they actually run into problems. It's not the actual damage itself, because all the stuff's going to one-shot you anyway. I'm putting in a bit of work here. Ouch.
Replenishing.
So many flesh golems, look at them. Now the really fun part is going to be jumping on this. Brah.
Replenishing.
That's alright. The thing is, they wriggled around, it was very clear it was on them, and then they just plopped it there. That was 100% intended. It was. Jump. Oh boy. Jump. Jump. Oh, giants. Hello. And yeah, just target that giant.
Is my ally. Replenishing.
Love the Zaitan music though. Like at least here I can sort of brute force heal through a bunch of damage. Like honestly, hard part of the fight's done. Though we do have the orb pushing phase.
Lethal combination. I feel good.
What you doing over there? Yeah, we don't need the projectile defense on this bit. Is later.
No, we do it now.
Oh, do you? Okay. Just never used it now.
Sand. Shield us.
That is good to know. We'll keep that in mind for the future.
It's sad. I was gonna practice my jumping skills, and I still don't have the jump the nope ropes on this one.
Ah, okay.
But not meant to be.
I think it shoots out projectiles. It definitely does it in the later stage, and I believe it'll shoot out like some periodic projectiles on that little bit there. This bit is where you really, really want the projectiles. Now let's watch this just get completely just nuked and sent off to the void. This is always the hardest part of this fight in Pugs, is not sending this to the edge.
Not enough endurance.
They've actually done pretty well here.
I feel good. Now's our chance. Finish.
That was pretty clean, actually. It moved around a lot, but the squad moved with it. That's good. Quite often what you'll see, people just like blast it and then it'll just ping straight to the edge and then almost one-shot everyone's stability. That.
Impressive combination.
I think you can still GG for extra loot here. I mean, you get 4 gold for that, so it's a pretty good use of time. Oh, GG. GG. That GG shouldn't work anymore? Okay, cool. That works with feed, though. It works with feed for some reason. And also because, yeah, someone was dead there, so it means they can easily get up and get the reward.
Yeah, on the purification with the salt spray, the first burst you can't destroy the projectiles, but it'll, everything after that you can.
Okay, that's good to know. We'll make sure to keep that in mind. What's up, Astra? How's it going, mate? Yep, this is fine. Not too bad, just getting up. Wonderful. Well, thanks for starting your day with us. Rezus, thank you. Let's get the ready spaghetti checkup. Actually, eating a full meal for the first time in 4 days feels so good. That sounds amazing. I hope you enjoy that.
Now I shall.
Sorry, you just said.
Sweet, sweet.
That's all right. Yeah, grab for CC should be better than CPC. Yeah, you're probably right. I'm just thinking of using it for a bit of projectile hate on the boss. Or Signet for Lost Peepo. Yeah, Signet's always a good skill. I don't really need stability for this, I don't think. Not really. So yeah, we'll probably go like that route. Cool, let's go.
Wow. You just...
Forging steel took so long. I mean, it's quite rewarding to do, but damn, that took some time.
We should finish this now.
Does Renegade have any good builds at the moment? Yeah. Condi Renegade is great. Condi Alack Renegade is great. Yeah, and Hill Renegade's passable.
Spend a few years in the mist. You meet the most fascinating people.
Hagrid, how are you going? Welcome, welcome in, Raiders. My name is Josh O'Connor. You can also check us out over on my YouTube, where we've got all sorts of different Guild Wars 2 build guides. What is up, Hagrid? Everyone, make sure you go drop Hagrid a follow over on Twitch. Hagrid, what'd you get up to on your stream? And how goes the raiding? It's going very well. We're blasting out all the strike missions, including Cold War and Forging Steel. Having a good time with it, especially because we had the return to Icebrood Saga, so all the Icebrood stuff was actually pretty stacked in terms of rewards, so we had a good time. And we're just blasting out some EOD now. And Guild Gen's usually good. Yeah, Snow Crows has great ones as well. Yeah, I've got a Spear Renegade guide over on my YouTube channel, although that build guide's been somewhat outdated. You can just run like Spear and Mace Axe and it works very similarly.
I need more. Please.
Yeah, Snow Crows if you're right, just generally, yes. But what you got to on your stream? Working on IBS and World vs. World. Hell yeah. How did the Icebrood Saga stuff go? Yeah, we got some quite good rewards by blasting through all the strikes. Where is this big one here? We might as well get it and then just start blasting as much CC as possible. If you're on a Fractal, there's a power variant, but only work there. Yeah, there's the power Alack Renegade as well. Power Renegade itself, just like Natural's power DPS Renegade, can be quite fun. You don't have amazing sustained DPS, but your burst damage is pretty stacked, so depending on the fight, it can be quite good. Yeah, power Alack Renegade, especially in Fractals, is great. It's not as good in raids. It will do the job, but Condi is better. Yeah, most people in Fractals are probably running like Chronomancer now. Chronomancer is just so insanely good. And you can jump the shockwave. You get used to your particular timing for that. Should I pick up the frostbow? E. There we go. Had to figure out which skill was actually the CC on that.
Impressive combination.
Right over here. You have 2 Boon Quick and a Lack build in your account. You look for pure DPS at the moment. Looking at Snow Crows at the moment. On Revenant, its best DPS builds are Power Vindicator and Condi Renegade. Chronomancer or Mesmer, its best DPS builds are going to be just both Virtuosos. They play very similarly. Don't know, Split, can you play Condi without it? Yeah, you can play Mace Axe and Shortbow. That was the old condition damage DPS build. That's probably only like maybe 1,000 or 2,000 DPS behind Spear and Mace Axe. So honestly, they're kind of interchangeable. But Condi Renegade's a very fun build. It's a very smooth, very like, it's not necessarily, it's a perfectly looping rotation. If you like that, you'll love it. And Herald can be played as pure DPS, but Vindy should be the better option. Yeah, Vindy's just straight more damage, but Power Herald does have like the fun quirk that it does pump out a lot of useful boons. So if you ran like a DPS Herald in your squad, you just wouldn't really have any like might or... Well, squads don't have fury issues. But yeah, it does provide useful boons, but it's DPS. It's not a DPS class. Vindicator is the better power DPS. It fulfills the specialized DPS role better. Now it's going to go start that. Yeah, we're ready. We're going.
Time to do some real damage.
So many green numbers. You know, DPS holds like 38k on Golem, not great, but workable. Yeah, not great, but alright. That's where, I guess where DPS builds were a couple years ago. And yeah, for the extra utility it brings, like, I'd consider running it. It provides value to the group outside of its DPS, so it's almost a bit of a hybrid-y option. Not bad. But yeah, given that Power, Quickness Herald, Power Vindicator, and Power Herald will run the same set of gear, you may as well just run Vindicator if you want the damage. Yeah, Condi Rev has the same rotation as Condi Lac, you just don't use F4. Yeah, they're incredibly similar rotations, obviously, with the extra energy you get from not having to use the F4. It does open up as a slightly different rotation, because you can use other skills. And it also does open you to running Song of the Mist as well, if you want to have consistent energy swaps every time. It's comparable DPS. It may only be like 1k or so behind, thereabouts, maybe a little bit more, although it actually depends on how good you are at executing the Condi Renegade rotation. Depending on like your skill level and just how you find pressing the buttons, you might actually have better damage on Condition Renegade with Song of the Mist than Charge Mist, but you won't have the energy for a lot of the utility, so it's a bit of a trade. Oh, Condi Quick Herald's fun. Yeah, Condi Quick Herald's very fun. Yeah, one annoying thing about like Boon Renegade and Boon Herald is that they require different sets of gear. So that makes it annoying. You have to have two sets. It's not necessarily the easiest transition.
Close your eyes. Pain everywhere.
It's 3 out of 3 in terms of playstyle. You should click many things. Yeah, it's like 3 stars out of 5 in terms of difficulty. It's because it has a bit of a precise rotation, and one thing you will have to get used to is you will have to like know how much energy all of your skills use, so you can trigger the charge miss, like energy swap consistently. That's where you really get value out of it. And yeah, if you don't trigger it consistently, it does become a bit awkward to play. If you're assuming you're talking about Renegade. Is that on me? No, not on me. Yeah, Condi Rev swapped the weapons. Yeah, it's just because Herald, I think the main thing is that it gets less benefit from bleeding than Renegade, because on Renegade you have the extra modifiers in the Renegade trait line for bleeding, which shifts the balance of what weapons are needed. At least I assume that's it. You can run the same weapon set and you're probably going to get comparable results. You're talking really sort of optimizing there, but if you preferred one weapon set over the other, you could probably, yeah, you could easily make it work. It's just your rotation's different. You're going to have to freestyle it a bit. Yeah, not having a, yeah, like a degenerating skill in the Renegade rotation makes it harder than other Rev builds. Yes, it does. The fact you don't just have a button that you can, well, you can use Soul Cleave Summit, which will burn energy, but you don't use it in the rotations. The fact that you're in color, you won't typically use your energy burning skill, your upkeep skill, that's the word. So you sort of have to get used to pressing the rotation quickly, and if not, using Heroic Command, your F1, to burn that little bit extra energy so you can get that consistent charge miss swap. Because if you're not getting the charge miss swap, honestly, and you're running condition damage Renegade, you may as well just run Song of the Mist. Which is fine, you won't have to deal with your rotation changing. You can swap legends at any point. It's just you won't have the energy for a lot of CC, which is one of the big value points of Renegade in particular, is the fact that with Dark Razor's Daring and a lot of other skills, you can actually have quite giga CC. You're sure Herald used Song of the Mist? Yeah, Herald will use Song of the Mist because it's not as energy intensive as Renegade. Renegade is incredibly energy intensive, so it really wants that extra value from Charge Mist. Conditioned, like just DPS Renegade can swing it because it gets a bit of benefit, because you get those extra effects on Legend Swap, which can compensate for the lack of skills in your rotation because you got lower energy. But if you have the Alacrity build, the build just straight up doesn't function. Yeah, Condi Herald will use Song of the Mist. Power Herald will use Roiling Mist for the crit chance.
Attention, my creation. A brilliant ember.
We still never completed CM on this one either.
No, yeah, still need to do that on this account.
We kind of lost most of our group though.
Yeah, that's the thing. We're going to have to rebuild it from scratch.
Enjoy the view.
Hey, thank you, Aldronis, for the follow. Let's see if anyone... Oh, God. GG. Don't move if you have arrows. Are you going to form for wing 8 CMs onto Ceres? We'll probably do wing 8 CMs, I think, before we do Ceres. But yeah, I definitely want to do Ceres CM on EU this year. LCM if we can as well. It's definitely when the CMs drop, we'll be trying to like prog them on the day. So I do need to like actually organize and get the group together for that.
Lethal combination. I like it.
And especially after, at least on my end, doing 1500 pulls on HTCM before getting the kill, it was good to take a little bit of a break from that like really hard endgame content. Oh, blah, blah, blah. And welcome out, Jonas. Looking for some more Guild Wars 2 content. Your name has come up a couple times. Well, you've come to absolutely the right place. Yeah, you can go check out our YouTube channel there where we have all sorts of different Guild Wars 2 build guides. And we also stream on Twitch 3 days a week as well. So yes, if you want some Guild Wars 2 content, we've got you covered. Bess, are you a new player to Guild Wars 2? Have you been playing for quite a while? I myself have been playing Guild Wars 2 for about 11,000 hours across 3 accounts and having a fantastic time with it.
Got your jail cell
Replenish.
Pull off the pillow myself. Stay synchronized, you two. Strength in pairs.
Pulling them somewhat on top of each other if we can. I've got the Mind Blade on me here. Honestly, Scourge, we can just straight up heal through everything, it's fine. Let's have another heal utility there. I need stability for this. Let's find out together. Oh, A just dealt with that. Yep. Cool, everyone's alive. Good. Oh, yeah, alpha tested many moons ago. Haven't put anywhere near the amount of that time into it though. It's really become one of your go-to games in the last few years. That is great to hear. And yeah, Guild Wars 2, like, no matter where I've been in life, it's always just been one of those go-to games. And yeah, I've taken breaks from Guild Wars 2 over the years when life hasn't been as accommodating. But yeah, the fact that there is no sub-feed, no vertical gear progression, means you can just come back to it. It's great. Heal through everything is such a flex, especially on these normal mode strikes. Like, especially the thing with EOD strikes in particular, the challenge modes of them, it's not even that you need a lot of healing, really, aside from maybe Junkyard. Junkyard kind of wants a bit of healing. But a lot of the CM mechanics are just going to completely one-shot you anyway, irrespective of what you do, so the main thing is don't get hit by them. It's the same on Harvest Temple, where it's like, oh, when the hardest encounters in the game, we need a lot of healing. You actually don't, you just need to not stand in the really bad stuff that's going to one-shot you no matter what you do. And catch you later, sufferings. Enjoy Wind and Truth. Let us know how you enjoy the start of it. And we'll stability that. Nice, there we go. But yeah, I didn't quite alpha test it, or beta test it. I played basically 3 weeks after the game launched. It was the Angry Joe review. That's the one that got me into Guild Wars 2. And yeah, for me, in fact, playing Druid at KO is pretty annoying because you don't have enough damage to basically generate enough CA to pump out your boons. Yeah, that's super annoying. Same as Harvest Temple, yeah. Any of those low damage pressure fights, Druid in particular, is actually really annoying to play. There we go. Yeah, if you get those arrows, or get those circles, get off the group, or you're not going to be living your best life. Not going to be speaking your true. That Angry Joe review is still one of his best videos. It is, yeah. Like, if you haven't seen it, I 100% recommend going back and watching the Angry Joe Guild Wars 2 review. And this is Guild Wars 2 at launch now. Guild Wars 2 is, by orders of magnitude, a better game now than it was back at launch. So yeah, if that review makes you want to go and play Guild Wars 2, yeah, you are in for a treat. Jimmy Boy, thank you for the follow. Someone tank the... Oh, cool, someone's already tanking the mech. Hooray! This part here does warrant a bit of healing at points when people walk over the mines a bit too much. Some of us do yearn for the mines. Spread. And there we go. Some people going down. We're going to start reviving. Oh, okay, someone really got bopped. Very sad. Don't be anywhere near that. I can't heal you through that. That will very quickly... That will very quickly kill you. Stack some in the green. Okay. Cool, this thing's just sort of vibing on me. We'll keep it at that. Sidestep some of those. Just go for a bit of a wander. Oh boy, this part destabilizes a bit just because we're kind of ignoring all the mechanics like you can sort of do in normal mode, but it does cause this part of the fight to destabilize a bit. Cool, boss is just going to go do his jumpy jump attack. And we're just going to blast down the sniper. I need to kind of keep that off. Nice, there we go, we'll just heal through that. Oh cool, we killed them at more or less the same time, that's pretty sweet. Hooray!
I'll dispose of you myself.
And this is another one of those fights where it was designed around people doing a higher level of damage, and it's just really, really long. Because you see the same mechanics a lot, but it just takes a really long time to get through this fight. Do I have stability? I do. If you have stability, you can just ignore the knockback attack. If not, you've got to dodge it at a certain point. I'll try and go in and bait that mechanic. I don't have it. Alright, let's see. 1, 2. Oh, there's a... I'm not trusting. I'm not trusting. This is why we don't trust. I saw 2 numbers out there. I knew one of those was on the group.
Enough! Enough!
We got there.
I concede.
No res. That was a very satisfying res. That would have been more impactful if the boss was at like 10% health rather than 2%. Oh, lion's caught. Yeah, so we've got 3 more to go. Okay, so probably about an hour of PoE tonight. Was that a 5 res? Maybe even a 6. It was a big res. It was a big boy res. Pepperidge Farm movements, put them together. Oh yeah, I miss those days. Now this is going to be the fun part. Hang on, I'm just going to have to say it. Don't CC unless... Call it. Will we get the instant wipe at the start because someone CCs where they shouldn't? There we go, let's get them in. Yeah, CC everything, wipe your group immediately. I'll explain why that's a problem when we actually get into the fight. Because basically, during parts of the fight where you basically CC the bosses to create safe zones for you. And if you're not standing in the safe zone, you will instantly die. Not downstate, you will instantly be defeated.
Replenishing.
And what will happen, particularly at the start, people will all be standing in the safe spot, because normally what pug groups do, it is a tiny bit slower, but what pug groups do is they ignore the CC at the start, people stand in the safe zone, and they just wait for the mechanic to expire. They're safe, they continue with the fight. What happens if you CC it, that safe area gets inverted, so all of a sudden what was the safe zone is now the instant death zone, and usually if you CC, it's slow enough so that it basically just flips over just before the mechanic expires, so people don't have time to react to it, or they're not expecting to react to it because effectively you AFK at the start of this. And then you wipe like 8 people. And everyone's really mad. So if you're ever pugging this, don't CC at the start, and when all 3 of these mobs land in the arena and you have the choice as to which to CC, you need to remember the acronym GERB. Green, red, blue. GERB. It's all a bit gerbled. That's how you remember it. You CC the green one first, then the red one, then the blue one. To be frank, they obviously know how the mechanics work since they stay in the safe zone, so they just need to adapt. True, yeah, like people do need to adapt, but yes, you do have to keep in mind when you're playing with pugs, there are pug strategies and they are established, and there is inertia to remove them. You know what, we're just starting. This is one of the old can't press P thing. And it's... Golem has auto soft CC, it will do a bit. Highest Reaper concentration in squad in years. I know, like 3 Reapers is pretty high. Reaper's still an absolute banger of a DPS build.
I could outrun a centaur.
And for LFG, you want the strategy that gives you the best chance at success on the first try. Not necessarily the fastest. You actually don't want to go for the fastest. The fastest is the riskiest strategy. You want the most consistent strategy. There we go. So notice we are in the safe area here. And if they... there you go. Now here you want to stand on the side of the arrow as indicated by you. Like if you're on one side, on the next one of those mechanics, you'll need to be on the next one. On the other side. And it's unique to the player. It's not squad wide. Depends on where you were standing. Gonna keep an eye on that CC bar. That is going down quicker than I'd like. No CC. There we go. That was... we were okay, but that was also not great. As an example where the fast strat is also safer than the common pug strat. For example, SAC 25 at Deimos. True. And yeah, like being on the LFG, and if you're playing with random people, can be a little bit like herding cats. At a certain point, you just have to accept the cats are going to go where they're going to go, and you need to adapt around it. Quite often, it's easy just to roll with the pug strat rather than trying to train people on a new strategy. That was closer than I'd like. Yeah, that mechanic takes ages. I still was not particularly happy about that. So there we go. For every person who was not in the right spot, we have one of those blasts. See, people disregarding that mechanic. We really can't disregard that here. I was taking use, but you finally started putting your commander tag to use. Hell yeah. Yeah, that's the commander tag is unironically one of the best purchases you can possibly make in Guild Wars 2. Because yeah, the ability to easily just form up groups for events is insane. And yeah, like putting a tag up in the LFG, it attracts people. Don't CC unless we call it. There we go. Just, yeah. Yeah, like, don't CC. The group, half the group's going to wipe. You're going to spend longer just waiting until you now have to get back to that part of the fight again. Hang on, who's actually doing it? I don't have... There we go. This is one of the... not know, this is one of the trickier ones to pug because there's so many instances where people can just wipe the group by doing that. But a few friends started playing Guild Wars 2 recently from you, and think that's given you confidence to command? Hell yes. Yeah, the confidence commands are a very great, you know, resource and ability to have. What happens if I stand in that? How easy is it for me to out-heal that? Yes. And yeah, just tagging up for a random event, people will just check, come over, check out, see what's going on. Don't CC. Yeah, that's true. They're not there to... Being a commander, a lot of time just isn't... You're not leading, you're not teaching, you're just... There is content here, come do content with me. Yeah, in raids, straight up just put people in subgroups, really. Green. And it helps if you have some idea what's going on. And like you can ask people like, oh, we're at Deimos now, can one of the DPS go hand cut? Cool, that's on me. See, this is a very fun encounter. It's a very fun encounter when people know what's going on. It's a less fun encounter in pugs because so many of the... Oh, let's go get the heals. So many of the mechanics that people are trained to, like when you see a break bar, almost all the time, it is like, yes, you must break that break bar. That's just universally a good thing for you to do. But when you come on this fight, particularly in pug versions of it, you don't want to break the break bar, or you want to break it at very specific points. So spamming your break bar down, or your CC, is not going to yield you good results. You're going to have quite a bad time with it. Let's just pull it to the edge. Just gent. We're skipping it. We are skipping that. I'm not doing that again. And yeah, the PoE skill tree is very similar. It's like if you don't want to learn how to navigate it, just follow a guide for it. Like I'm not doing that again. Like, it's actually going to be really annoying for me to form up in the LFG for that. It's much easier now if I can just go... Yeah, just Soto. All Soto DPS. Yeah, on that one, there's only really 3 points in a pug setting where you will be CCing. It's when all 3 of them are up. Yeah, like, that's one of the reasons. That's one of the reasons it's an annoying encounter, because, yeah, every other encounter in Guild Wars 2 trains you to do that. Because, yeah, when you see a break bar, it's always a good thing to break it. Only good things happen. Whereas there, good things don't happen. And yeah, it's one of those things where it's fine to do that, like, once. It's fine to do it twice. But after a while, like, that happened effectively 3 times in there, and everyone still did it. Yeah, funny things, very funny things happen. It's a rule that pugs never CC when needed, but always blast mode. It can feel a bit like that sometimes.
Take my power.
But there, especially because we clarified quite a few times, don't CC unless we call it. And then people CC. That just makes that a bit annoying. And also because that's a long strike mission as well. It's not a quick one. And I suspect there may actually be some people trolling in that. That wouldn't surprise me as well.
Another.
All shiny.
Oh, cool. We got hover engine. Oh, glide booster. That's actually a really good one. That's why you're here to get good, and we will help you with that. You've come to the ultimate place of Guild Wars 2 learning. It has that, I'll need this event to fail to get progress on legendary achievement. Yeah, it's really weird when there's a few instances of that where you need a certain event chain to fail to start up a particular event that gives you an item for a legendary. Because people don't want an event to fail. Why would you ever want that in a video game? You don't want to fail if you can avoid it. So people just going to come along and say, oh, content, some experience, hooray. And then there's the one person there wanting the event to fail. Just screaming into the void. Going, no, I have waited for weeks. Begging in map and say chat, please let this fail. Then someone going, no. And I think for the most part, ArenaNet has done like a good job of removing those. There used to be more of those. There's now less of them, I think. That's a very bad thing from a design perspective, where you have to ask people to let an event fail. That's bad.
You cannot take my power.
And yeah, especially with the PoE skill tree, yeah, it's a lot when you look at it, but I'll stop recording. I don't really need any more B-roll. It's a lot when you look at it, but yeah, it's kind of intended, especially if you're a new player, let's see. If you're a new player, you will sort of just pick a direction, follow it, and just go like, oh, this looks like a useful thing. And then, yeah, you'll end up with some like weird build, but you can respec at any point for some gold. And it's good to sort of maybe have a play and be like, oh, you know, how are these skills going to work? Where's this path going to take me? And eventually, like, you will probably end up, you know, doing a bit of research, figuring out, oh, here's the kind of skills that work really well for this type of build. And then you'll tweak your build from there. And honestly, like, if you were basically, like the skill tree in PoE, it's kind of like if you took all the traits in Guild Wars 2 and just put them all on one big screen, it would kind of look like the same. It's a similar amount of, you know, skills and traits. It's just presented differently. Yeah, more often than not, you're just picking the things that make the skills you do more damage. And then, yeah, once you get to endgame and you start to understand things more, I'm still not quite there yet, but you'll be, you know, picking things that synergize really well. Like, say, for my sorceress, I'll be taking a trait or traits that give me loads of energy shield, then I'll be taking a trait that will convert that energy shield into mana, and then I'll be taking a trait that will make me do more damage based on the amount of mana I have. So all those traits will start sort of feeding into each other and compounding on each other. That's what really makes a lot of the really broken builds in PoE tick. As a, you know, relatively new player for it, that seems to be how it's like structured. What relic do you prefer to run on Heal Scourge? I tend to run Relic the Flock just for a bunch of extra barrier, but yeah, you can run... Mercy Relic is great if you want to really revive people, you know, insanely quickly. Monk is great just for a bunch of extra healing, that's just a good thing. Relic of Febe used to be like really good and kind, not required, but really desirable, because Scourge didn't have that many good ways to actually output quickness. Not quickness, swiftness. But now, because Trail of Anguish does AoE swiftness, and Locust Swarm does AoE swiftness as well. You don't really need it. I'm running... Yeah, the three you'd kind of pick from will be Flock, Monk, and Mercy. But yeah, Scourge, like I've said quite a few times in the stream, it's one of those really weird builds where like the weapons you use don't really have that much impact. They're just a little bit of icing on the cake. All the good stuff about Scourge, it's in your Shroud skills, it's in your utility skills, it's not really in your weapons. So even running dual swords can be great for the extra mobility. That's totally viable as well. But yeah, Warhorn's great because you've got the CC here. I'll CC that right now. And we've got some extra life siphon, which turns out to be healing, and some life force there. Pistol's great because you get a ton of life force. Dagger's great for life force as well. Torch is good for some CC and extra life force. There's a whole bunch of good soup everywhere. Now let's go get some friends up. Here we go. In PoE 2, you sort of stick to, like, it can, especially once you reach endgame, it can be quite expensive to respec, so you're kind of sticking with the same build for the most part. I'm really enjoying PoE. Like, if you enjoy Guild Wars 2, I think you'll enjoy PoE. And if you want to really sort of dive in and, you know, start off with maybe a bit better understanding and have an easier time going through, I definitely look up like a leveling build guide for the class you're particularly playing. That's going to make your life much easier. Up, 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 up. That destabilized right quick, didn't it? There we go, we're back in business now. Nice, lots of loot. Love it. That's right. A lot of the members in this group, they've been with us on a journey. They've come through basically every strike mission except Old Lion's Core. That one broke us, or mostly broke me. I could just sort of hear, I'm like, that sounded like a brake bar breaking somewhere, and then I see the damage areas invert, and I'm like, yep. Carlix Plays, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that, my friend. And also nothing if you want to have an easier time in PoE, if you can figure out how to trade between players, you can just straight up buy gear that's going to be incredibly useful and synergize well with whatever build you're going for, rather than the random gear that you'll get. You can get like totally functional gear just by random drops, but you can juice yourself quite well by buying stuff as well, if you want to make it a bit easier for yourself. Just depends on what kind of gameplay experience you want. And because PoE's in early access right now, you do have to pay to get access to it. You do get like a whole bunch of like their premium currency as well, which is nice, and you get a whole bunch of stash tabs and quality of life, which is good. But it will be free to play once it comes out of early access. So if you're not keen on it right now, you can come back when it's no longer early access.
Mountain storms.
But I am having a great time with it.
Sweet, sweet loot.
Yeah, we probably won't finish Act 3 tonight. Forging Seal, that took some time. Yeah, if we didn't do Cold War, Forging Steel, this would all... Like, Forging Steel, that added on half an hour.
They'll have to hit much harder.
This one, just stack people in the greens. When you get these, just run them a bit back until they drop, run back in. You don't want them at the boss's feet if you can avoid it, because then it's just bad damage in AoE. Move to the left of this beam, it's going to do a full rotation, and then just move a bit over past where it started and you can safely ignore it for the rest of the fight. Carlos, welcome in. You're new to Guild Wars 2 and you're wondering what is the best class and build you recommend friendly for beginners. I get this question all the time, and the ones I tend to recommend for new players, I recommend Necromancer, which is the class I'm playing now, because, you know, core Necromancer, the one you'll play, we'll just go target this one here. The one you'll play will give you a second health bar in Death Shroud, which is really handy to keep yourself alive. Yeah, it's just very durable, does good damage. Reaper, one of its elite specializations, or in your subclasses you'll get later, is incredibly fun. Scourge is great. Another great one is Ranger, because you'll get the AI-controlled pet, which will tank a lot of aggro for you and will just honestly make your life a bit easier. Another great one for new players I find is Guardian, because again you get a lot of like really good defensive skills that can help your survivability a bit while still doing fantastic damage. But Guild Wars 2 is a game that really encourages you to play multiple characters. Like I myself I think on this account, are we on like 26 characters, and on my EU account we just crossed over 23. We have so many characters, but if you play Guild Wars 2 long enough, you will have at least one of every class. And it really encourages you to sort of switch between them, just with how the gearing works and how a lot of the loot you can get is for your entire account, not just your one character. But if you want the beginner recommendations, so we have like one from each of the heavy, medium, and light armor weights. You get Guardian, Ranger, Necromancer. But yeah, all builds and all classes in Guild Wars 2 can fulfill all roles in like endgame PvE. So there's no bad choice, really. Just pick the class you like the style and aesthetic of, and a trick you can do, I was going to CC here, a trick you can do once you complete the tutorial mission, you can just, we'll go this way, you can go into the PvP lobby. As soon as you exit the tutorial mission, you go PvP, enter the lobby. I can't because I'm in a mission right now, but you'll have everything unlocked. You can test out the character, see if you'll like it. If you do like it, keep it. If you don't, you can delete it. Or sleeping on easy mode, pistol thief. Yeah, that is truly an option as well. Yeah, pistol thief, basically you just equip 2 pistols and you control right click your 3 skill, set it to auto cast, and that's literally your rotation. Yeah, Warrior is also good because it's got bulk and its skills are simple. Yeah, it's one of the best things about Warrior for new players is sort of conceptually, it's a very simple class. You hit people with skills that do damage.
That was impressive. Sharp blades, sharp knives.
And yeah, probably what you're finding there, Sushi, I imagine, is that it's probably simply that the people who are playing pistol thief, they don't have the 3 skill set to auto cast. So it'll be effectively the equivalent of them walking around without attacking the boss. So you're almost welcome, mate. No, I play Guild Wars 2 for over 11,000 hours now across 3 accounts, so I am here to offer as much assistance as I can. There we go, we got these. Just place these off the boss and just walk back in. And yeah, that's it. It's not so much the build. The build's going to do as much damage as it's going to do, which is going to be sort of the high 20k or so. But yeah, the people who will play that build and rely on it are also the ones who won't necessarily, they won't have the skill in the game to do the damage. Same as with Power Mech, yes. And really, just doing good damage in Guild Wars 2, it boils down to press good buttons quickly. Figure out what the good buttons are, press them as quick as you can, and you're going to do good damage. And make sure that your gear and build is correct. Excellent, thank you both for coming for that. Sorry, that took a bit longer than we expected.
Yeah, thanks.
Oh, you said we're doing a DRM next?
That's right, I count Forging Steel as all the DRMs.
I still need to do a DRM for the daily.
Unfortunately, ArenaNet does not count it as a DRM. But there's only one Mystic coin for any DRM.
Okay. That's right, I think I'll probably leave it there for now. I'm going to move on and do some PoE very shortly.
Yes, nice. See you guys later.
Excellent, we'll catch you all next week.
Are you going to do a DRM, Petey?
Beautiful, we will disconnect there. You generally think DPS and Guild Wars 2 is the hardest role, but the encounters don't punish enough. I completely agree. I think to be a good DPS player, that is drastically harder than being a good healer. And by good, I mean like a competent healer to the point where people aren't going to raise any eyebrows, or a good boon DPS player. Because to be a good healer, you just kind of have to press the buttons that pump out enough healing and put some stability out in the group occasionally, and you're probably going to be fine. You're going to be most of the way there, people aren't going to pick on you too much. Your boon DPS players, you just need to pump out 100% or 90% uptime of whatever boon you need to do, which you can always brute force by adding in more boon generating skills. Like on Chrono, you can put Phantasmal Disenchanter on instead of Mantra of Pain. Bam, you fix your boon uptime instantly, or more boon duration, and people aren't judging you on your DPS. They're judging you on your boon uptime. That's a very easy one to do. Whereas DPS, you are just being judged on your DPS, and it is quite hard to do good DPS in Guild Wars 2 compared to the other roles. And yeah, you're right, like a lot of encounters don't punish it hard enough because the enrage timers aren't particularly severe. So when you have things that actually do punish it, things like Harvest Temple Challenge Mode and Legendary Ceres, Harvest Temple's a much lower damage threshold. But we ran into that as well on NA when we were doing Harvest Temple Challenge Mode. At certain points we just didn't have the damage to progress through certain phases because the rest of Guild Wars 2 doesn't require it. But yeah, 100%. People choose DPS because it seems to be the easy role. Like, oh, I don't have to heal or provide boons, I just hit the boss. Yes, that is true, but you also have that very easy metric you are being judged by, and whether you're a good DPS player becomes immediately apparent by how much DPS you're doing. And also in a lot of, especially raid encounters, the mechanics, a lot of them do tend to be best suited to be done by a DPS player. Like on Sabbather, if you're doing cannons, you're probably sending a DPS player. Slothazor, you're probably sending a DPS player to go and do the slubs. You don't really want a healer doing that if you can avoid it. What are other ones? Pylon kiting, it's almost always a DPS player. Kadim kiting, usually a DPS player. There's things that obviously the healers cover, and you want to concentrate as much on them as possible because they have like the capacity to absorb it. But there are higher expectations on DPS players than what people think. And yeah, well, I don't have it active at the moment because Arc DPS I don't believe has been patched. But yeah, it's very easy to just look at the DPS chart, see the people at the top, see the people at the bottom, and go, yep, I can immediately tell who's the best DPS player here. Whereas you have to go through a few more steps to do that with a boon DPS. And boon DPS just isn't judged upon how much DPS they're doing. They're being judged on how many boons they do. But beautiful. What we're going to do now is take a quick break, and we'll be back very shortly. We'll catch you soon, team. Go stretch our legs and take Addy out.